My wife is a beautiful CEO. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 826, Late Divine Realm. Su Chen activated the Nine Heavens Thunder Curse. The rolling thunder poured towards Yi Changru. Yi Changru's eyes were full of horror, and the owner of Jinglin Villa also had a look of rage in his eyes. No one expected that Su Chen would not care about the owner of Jinglin Villa. Yi Changru's face was full of despair. His spirit, transformed from a single yin god, was naturally restrained by this extremely yang and strong thunder force. However, Yi Changru would not wait to die. The pass is as majestic as a mountain. He shouted angrily, and all his mental power surged and rushed into the pass, where his mental power was concentrated. In an instant, the pass, which was already tall and steep, was raised again. Boom. The violent thunder fell with a bang. Those terrifying thunders were like dragons, and then they hit the pass fiercely. In front of the terrifying thunder, Yi Changru's pass was shattered. It was not that his pass was not strong enough, but that the power of the thunder of heaven and earth was too terrifying. Su Chen, who had many trump cards, might not dare to try such a thunderbolt rashly, let alone Yi Changru. Master, save me! Yi Changru shouted for help. The despair in his eyes became stronger and stronger. Boy, I'll deal with you later. The master of Jinglin Mountain Villa looked at Su Chen coldly. As soon as the voice fell, the tall master rushed into the area where the thunderbolts were bombarding. Seeing this, Su Chen hurriedly took out a few more pills and swallowed them. At the same time, he urged the spirit and the vitality of longevity to repair and restore himself. Su Chen's mental power swept over, and a hint of surprise appeared on his face. He quickly walked to the corpse of Lion Changsheng and took out a thin piece of silk with some words written on it. It was 3 waves. Su Chen was secretly happy. He took a quick glance, wrote down the content, and put it in his arms. Then, he continued to recover. Boom boom. Soon, the thunderbolts were coming to an end. Although there were still some scattered ones, they were not a big deal. After a few breaths, the owner of Jinglin Villa came out of the thunder with a big stride. In his hand, he was holding a piece of coke. It was the Eastern Venerable of Jinglin Villa, Yi Changru. At this time, Yi Changru had turned black like coal slag. Although he was barely breathing, he did not completely die. Owner, please avenge me. Yi Changru was out of breath and his voice was extremely weak. Humph. Useless trash. The owner snorted coldly and handed Yi Changru to the men of Jinglin Villa. Then, he turned his head. A pair of eyes, cold and ruthless, scanned Su Chen up and down. Su Chen felt like being stared at by a poisonous snake. The owner asked coldly, boy, I've heard of you. I think you are a talent, so I'll give you a chance. Are you willing to submit to me? Su Chen smiled coldly. Do you think you are so shameless? Along the way, there were too many strong men who wanted to take him as a disciple. But the result was that most of these people became the dead souls of his men. Haha, you're not convinced. The owner of the manor smiled coldly and said, don't worry, I will convince you. Come and fight. As soon as the 2 words fell, Su Chen's momentum reached its peak. The aura of the owner of Jinglin Mountain Manor was too terrifying. It seemed that he had surpassed the middle stage of the divine realm, which made him alert. Su Chen had fought with many people in the middle stage of the divine realm. Even Chang Shenggang died in his hands, and Yi Changru was half dead. Yu Xinbei and Zhu Guodong were also in the middle stage of the divine realm, but they didn't have such a terrifying aura. No one had ever put such great pressure on Su Chen. The late stage of the divine realm. In an instant, Su Chen had already made a judgment in his heart. Facing such a terrifying master, he had to cheer up. Lose the battle, but not the battle. Even if you may not win, you must do your best. Okay, fight. The owner of the manor smiled and nodded. As soon as the word fight came out, it seemed as if thousands of troops were rushing to kill. The terrifying aura was overwhelming and pressed towards Su Chen. Creak. Su Chen's bones were squeezed out, and the sound was squeezed out. His eyes became more and more solemn. The strength of this manor owner is indeed extraordinary. No wonder he can cultivate so many masters of the god realm. In the entire Dongzhou province, Jinglin Villa is considered the strongest force. There are several God Realm Masters alone. You know, even the Tiger Capture Guards are slightly inferior to this Jinglin Villa. The God Realm Masters are far inferior. Before Su Chen appeared, King Mui was seriously injured and could not even exert her God Realm strength. Li Changfeng was in a similar situation. There was only one deputy guard chief, Chen Zifeng, whose strength reached the God Realm, but he was only in the early stage of the God Realm. And what about Jinglin Villa? Dong Zunzan Yi Changru and Lian Changsheng are both in the middle stage of the God Realm. Now, there is also a Manor owner in the late stage of the God Realm. With such a terrifying force, it is no wonder that the dignified Tiger Capture Guards dare not act rashly. The owner of Jinglin Villa did not take the initiative to attack. He was like a cat playing with a mouse, just using a strong and terrifying momentum to suppress Su Chen. We must take the initiative to attack. Su Chen made up his mind. Divine Fist. 9 extreme strength. Su Chen shouted in his heart. He urged all his strength and attacked brazenly. In an instant, the huge Liao Dao mountain appeared in a phantom. The mysterious Dao rhyme flowed. In an instant, Su Chen was like a god holding a mountain. Go. Su Chen urged Yao Dao mountain and hit the owner of Jinglin Mountain Villa fiercely. Boom. Yao Dao mountain was like the sky falling, smashing towards the powerful enemy. Facing Su Chen's terrifying attack, the owner of Jinglin Mountain Villa just smiled faintly. Then, he threw a punch casually, looking for death. A hint of coldness appeared in Su Chen's eyes. This owner of Jinglin Mountain Villa was so arrogant. However, this was exactly what Su Chen wanted. The more arrogant the opponent was, the easier it would be for Su Chen's attack to work. Boom. A violent collision sound suddenly broke out. But Su Chen's Yao Dao mountain phantom trembled slightly a few times. The next second, he was actually knocked back, and Su Chen himself was like a broken sack, flying backwards. Puff. Su Chen spurted out a mouthful of blood, with bright red blood stains on the corners of his mouth. Brother. Uncle Master. Su Chen. For a moment, everyone in Su Chen's camp was anxious. The scene just now could be said to be the most helpless one for Su Chen in today's battle. Hiss. Su Chen slowly stood up and took a breath of cold air. The strength of the owner of Jinglin Villa is so terrifying. Second update. There will be another update later. Chapter 827, Legend of the Devil. Su Chen's heart was gloomy. Martial arts practice, step by step to heaven. Su Chen knew that the gap in the realm of martial arts practice was difficult to make up. But the gap between himself and the owner of Jinglin Villa was a bit too big. Although Su Chen's vitality cultivation was only in the Xianshan realm, but his physical body had entered the Shanren realm, and his soul was also a spiritual immortal master. With the addition of the physical body and spiritual immortal master in the Shanren realm, combined with various secret methods, Su Chen's combat power was not weaker than that of the middle stage of the God realm, not to mention the blessing of the 9 extremes. However, the result was one move. Just one move. The opponent's random move seriously injured Su Chen. Su Chen had never experienced such a crushing battle. Kill. Su Chen attacked again. This time, he took out the compass again. Su Chen held the compass in one hand and pinched the formula with the other hand, laying out a formation, intending to trap the opponent first. Su Chen's attainments in the formation, naturally needless to say. With the blessing of the compass, a quasi 6th level formation was laid in an instant. This formation can even trap those in the late stage of the divine realm. However, the result made Su Chen's heart beat fast again. The owner of Jinglin Villa did not stop Su Chen from setting up the formation at all, and did not even dodge. When the formation was set up, the owner of Jinglin Villa finally moved. He raised his hand and punched violently. In an instant, dozens or hundreds of punches were thrown directly. The formation that had just been formed shook violently in an instant. Boom. After a few breaths, Su Chen's formation was broken. The formation backfired and attacked instantly. Puff. Su Chen spurted out another mouthful of blood, and his face turned much paler. After 2 failed attempts, Su Chen frowned. And the people in Su Chen's camp were even more anxious like ants on a hot pot, and they all wanted to break through the space directly. Feng Shu turns around. Before, they delayed Yuzin Bei and others. Now, it is Yuzin Bei and others' turn to stop them again. Haha, Su Chen, you're dead. If you dare to fight the owner, even gods can't save you. Yi Changru laughed wildly, his eyes full of pride. Boy, are you willing to submit to me now? The voice of the owner of Jinglin Villa came again. He looked down at Su Chen. Submit to you? It's not impossible. Su Chen raised his eyebrows slightly. He said so, delaying time. But his mind was thinking about how to break the situation. When the owner of Jinglin Villa heard this, his eyes lit up. He didn't care whether Su Chen was delaying time deliberately. There were countless ways to control people in Jinglin Villa. Even if Su Chen pretended to surrender, it didn't matter. Under his means, Su Chen would have no chance to rebel in the future. The owner of Jinglin Villa was about to speak when suddenly a loud shout came. Su Chen, die. A figure suddenly rushed towards Su Chen. This voice made Su Chen stunned. Su Chen was not the only one who was surprised by the appearance of this person. Even the owner of Jinglin Villa was slightly surprised. The other people in the field were even more confused. This figure was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it was already next to Su Chen. Su Chen could see clearly that the person coming was a strange old man whose strength was close to the middle stage of the god realm. The strong vitality seemed to be able to break through at any time. Facing this old man who suddenly came out, Su Chen was a little dazed. He did not remember that he had offended such a powerful old man. The old man came at a very fast speed, and Su Chen had no time to fight back. Invincible golden body. Su Chen was busy activating the invincible golden body. The physical body of the heavenly man realm was also fully mobilized. Bang! The strange old man's punch fell. Thump, thump, thump. Su Chen's steps retreated one after another, and he staggered and almost fell to the ground. Although the old man's attack was not weak, it was still within Su Chen's tolerance. After all, this old man was only close to the middle stage of the god realm and had not yet fully entered the middle stage of the god realm. Who are you? Su Chen stood firm, staring at the other party with cold eyes. Although he was not a match for the owner of Jinglin Villa, he was not someone that could be manipulated by this strange old man. However, before the strange old man could speak, a light shout came. Zendibiro, you dare to show up again? Let me see how I can deal with you. Everyone turned to look. The person who spoke was Qin King Mui. In the previous battle, Qin King Mui had not taken action, and she was strictly following her duty as a tiger catching guard. But now, with the appearance of Zendibiro, she finally couldn't help it. At the beginning, she was trapped in Changyang Mountain because of this person. Kill. With a delicate shout, Qin King Mui took the initiative to kill Zendibiro with a posture that was determined to win. At the beginning, she chased this person so far, but was finally tricked into the formation. This was a shame for Qin King Mui as the captain of the special operations team. The two fought again. Okay, no one disturbs me anymore. Tell me your conditions. The owner of Jinglin Villa looked at Su Chen with a sinister smile. Su Chen's face was calm, but his mind was racing. He couldn't think of a way to fight against this man. The gap in the martial arts realm between the two sides was too huge. Su Chen's current vitality cultivation is only at the Xianshan realm. The other party is already in the late stage of the divine realm. There is a whole realm difference between the two. Just when Su Chen didn't know how to break the deadlock, Zhang Tian's voice suddenly came. Uncle, don't agree to him. I know where he came from. Demon. He is a demon. There was a hint of shock in Zhang Tian's voice. There was even a hint of inexplicable fear. Demon. Hearing Zhang Tian's words, Su Chen raised his eyebrows. Suddenly, many clues about Jinglin Villa suddenly came together. Since ancient times, there has been a saying in the cultivation world that Taoism and demons cannot coexist. Where there is a Taoist sect, there is also a demon sect. Su Chen is proficient in Taoism, so he naturally heard similar legends from his grandfather. However, he always thought that his grandfather was just telling him a story. Now it seems that demons really exist. Moreover, they are right next to him, and Su Chen has never discovered it. Su Chen and Jinglin Villa have dealt with each other several times. The number of strong men who died in the hands of Su Chen and Jinglin Villa is nearly double digits. The southern venerable Qin Ping He once had the ambition to subdue Su Chen. Moreover, he once vowed that the owner of the villa could guide the Xiantian realm to break the divine realm. At that time, Su Chen just thought that Qian Pinghe was bragging. Now it seems that all of this is true. The owner of Jinglin Villa is not only in the divine realm, but also in the late divine realm. What's more shocking is that he is also a demon that people fear. The third update. I've been a little busy these days. This is only for now. Sorry. We will resume as soon as possible. Thank you for your support. Chapter 828. The Chief of Guards takes action. HMM. The owner of Jinglin Villa exclaimed. Then, he turned to look at Zhang Taiyan and said coldly, "You, little Taoist priest, have a good eye." However, the owner of Jinglin Villa did not take Zhang Taiyan seriously. In his eyes, Zhang Taiyan was just a mid-stage god. Moreover, he was old and could not compare with Su Chen's talent. After glancing at Zhang Taiyan, the owner of Jinglin Villa turned around and looked at Su Chen again. "Boy, are you willing to submit to me now?" Su Chen stood up slowly and sneered. Before he knew the details of the owner of Jinglin Villa, Su Chen was indeed quite powerless. But now, he is much calmer. Demons are indeed very powerful. However, they are not completely without weaknesses. In the early years, Su Chen heard his grandfather mention that demons have a natural fear of thunder. Because of this, the owner of Jinglin Villa did not enter the minefield to save Yi Changru before, which is proof. It's not that he is unwilling, but he dare not set foot in the minefield. He didn't rush in to save people until the thunder weakened. In this case, Su Chen had a good idea. The devil is indeed terrible. But you should try my trick first. As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen took out a handful of talismans again. This time, there were more than before. The dark and mysterious 9 Heavens Thunder Curse. Cast it for me. The 9 Heavens Thunder Curse was cast again, and the sky and the earth suddenly changed color. Boom. Thunder and lightning. The terrifying power of heaven was brewing in the dark clouds. Boy, you dare. Don't try to find your own way. Seeing Su Chen summoning thunder again, the calm expression on the face of the owner of Jinglin Villa couldn't hold it anymore. Brine and tofu, one thing subdues another. If it was a simple realm competition, I'm afraid that several Su Chens tied together would not be able to compare with him, who was in the late stage of the god realm. Whether it was the cultivation of vitality, the realm of the soul, or the strength of the physical body, it was difficult for Su Chen to compare with him, who was in the late stage of the god realm. But for the thunder, he was afraid from the bottom of his heart. This thing is too powerful to restrain demons, just like a red hot knife cutting lard. The thunder that targets only the innate strong can have a huge impact on the demons in the god realm. And now, the thunder summoned by Su Chen is so powerful that it may be able to target the middle stage of the god realm. Although the owner of Jinglin Villa is in the late stage of the god realm, but he is a demon, and this thunder that can threaten the middle stage of the god realm has a great restraint and damage on him. Do you think I dare? Su Chen sneered. Then I will kill you first, and I wonder who else can attract the thunder. The owner of Jinglin Villa had a cold light in his eyes. The next second, he took the initiative to kill Su Chen. Su Chen's heart tightened. The owner of Jinglin Villa is powerful and a real late-stage god realm strongman. Before, he wanted to subdue himself, and he would seriously injure himself with a casual attack. Now, the other party really has the intention to kill, and I'm afraid that he will not be able to get away with it. Su Chen looked up and looked at the thunder that was still brewing. Although it is powerful enough, it may not be able to seriously injure the old demon. Let's fight. Even if I'm seriously injured by this old demon, I must let the thunder brew to be powerful enough. Su Chen gritted his teeth and made up his mind. The owner of Jinglin Villa also saw Su Chen's thoughts. He made a prompt decision and rushed directly towards Su Chen. At this moment, a voice rang out. Want to touch Su Chen? Ask me first if I agree or not. Whoosh. A figure suddenly blocked the owner of Jinglin Villa. It was the chief of the Tiger Guards of Dangzhou province, Li Changfeng. Chief. Su Chen's eyes flashed with a touch of emotion. However, he still reminded, Chief, you have to be careful. This demon is in the late stage of the god realm, and his strength is too strong. You may not be his opponent. Li Changfeng smiled slightly and said lightly, Su Chen, today I will show you my true strength. As soon as the voice fell, Li Changfeng's vitality burst out instantly. A strong momentum, like a vast ocean, spread out all over the sky. Late stage of God Realm. You are actually in late stage of God Realm. Not only Su Chen and others were shocked, but even the expression on the face of the owner of Jinglin Villa also changed. Is late stage of God Realm rare? Li Changfeng smiled faintly. His clothes fluttered without wind. The amazing momentum made everyone present extremely envious. Impossible. How come I don't know that there is a late stage of God Realm in Dongzhou province? The owner of Jinglin Villa looked unbelievable. Li Changfeng sneered. Who do you think you are? Do I need to report to you whether I'm in late stage of God Realm? The owner of Jinglin Villa had cold eyes. A cold voice squeezed out from his teeth. If I kill you, there will be no late stage of God Realm in Dongzhou. As soon as the voice fell, the owner of Jinglin Villa stepped on the ground. Boom. The whole ground shook instantly. And the owner of Jinglin Villa, like a tiger coming down from the mountain, pounced on Li Changfeng. He raised his huge fist and hit it hard. Skull throne. In an instant. A skeleton throne condensed into shape in an instant. The dense white bones, even through the fist intent, make people feel extremely gloomy. It seems that there is a king of the land of the dead sitting on it. The vast breath of death made many strong men present feel suffocated. Facing the terrifying attack of the owner of Jinglin Mountain Villa, Li Changfeng smiled slightly. 4 ounces to move 1,000 pounds. Li Changfeng punched out, and a wonderful artistic conception burst out. Between heaven and earth, a scale was born. At one end of the scale, there is a hook. At the other end, there is a round weight. On the scale star looks like the stars in the sky, which is extremely magical. However, this strange fist intent does not match Li Changfeng's temperament, no matter how you look at it. Seeing Li Changfeng's wonderful fist intent, Su Chen, who is still brewing the thunder, can't help but be slightly stunned. The next second, 2 terrifying fist intents collided with each other. First update. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 829. Thunder suppresses demons. Boom. 2 completely different fist intentions collided. Li Changfeng's fist intention was very weak, like a candle in the wind, a lone boat in the sea. Looking at the posture, it seemed that he could be killed by a punch at any time. However, the result is always unexpected. Li Changfeng's fist intention seems fragile, but in fact it overcomes hardness with softness. When the skeleton throne, the owner of Jinglin Villa, suppressed it strongly, Li Changfeng's scale hook directly hooked it tightly. Then, the round weight slid directly to the back of the scale bar. For a while, even though the skeleton throne was extremely powerful, it was difficult to move Li Changfeng's scale hook. The 2 fought evenly. In fact, Li Changfeng seemed more relaxed. Kill. The owner of Jinglin Villa's face sank and roared. He has dominated Dongzhou for many years, and is almost invincible. But now, the 2 northern and southern venerables under his command have been killed, and even Changsheng has fallen, and the eastern venerable Li Changru is half disabled. It can be said that now, apart from himself, Jinglin Villa has become a commander without troops. And now, he, the owner of the late God Realm, can hardly suppress Li Changfeng. On the other side, Su Chen is still urging the 9 heavens thunder curse to breed a bigger thunder. The owner of Jinglin Villa was anxious and angry. Boom. 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 The owner of Jinglin Villa attacked in anger. But Li Changfeng was not slow, and he countered every move. The skeleton throne was amazing, but it was always blocked by Li Changfeng. The violent bombardment, the dissipated power spread wildly around. The people around were shocked and retreated again and again. There was a master of the innate realm of Jinglin Villa, who had no time to dodge, and was directly splashed by the dissipated energy, and died instantly on the spot. For a while, everyone retreated further, and looked at the battle between the 2 from a distance. This is a battle in the late God Realm. Moreover, it is 2 powerful God Realm masters. This is in Dongzhou province. A real dragon came out of a small mud pond. If the Zhou Wanqiu master is considered a tiger, then the late God Realm is definitely a real dragon. In the battle between the two late God Realm Masters, the masters of both sides did not even have the opportunity to intervene, let alone help. In fact, many people withdrew from the fight. Both sides stopped fighting tacitly and looked at the battle between the two late God Realm Masters in the field. However, one person ignored this side. It was Su Chen. At this time, he was fully controlling the Nine Heavens Thunder Curse. The sky was covered with dark clouds, with lightning and thunder, making her all like a prehistoric beast. The terrifying thunder has been brewing for a long time. The dark clouds rolled in the sky, as if a torrential rain would pour down at any time. The ordinary masters of Jinglin Villa wanted to stop it. But what can they do? The strongest one among them is only the Western Venerable, who is at the peak of the Xianshan. As for the Eastern Venerable Li Changru, he had already been crippled by the previous thunder, and it was good enough that he did not cause trouble. Rumble. Boom. The thunder gathered more and more. The terrifying pressure became more and more obvious. Even Su Chen felt that it was difficult to control it. Li Weichang, get out of the way, I can't control it. Su Chen shouted. The thunder could get out of control at any time, and he had to guide it down. Hearing Su Chen's shout, Li Changfeng immediately pulled away. His cultivation in the late stage of the divine realm was naturally not slow. The owner of Jinglin Villa followed closely. Compared with Li Changfeng, he was more afraid of the sky thunder. From the beginning, Su Chen had targeted him to move the sky thunder. At this time, how could he escape from the sky thunder? Su Chen had already held the compass in one hand and pinched the formula with the other. The next second, a quasi 6th level trapping formation prepared in advanced duck shape in an instant and enveloped the owner of Jinglin Villa. If it were normal, this formation would not be taken seriously by the owner of Jinglin Villa. After all, a cultivation in the late stage of the divine realm could break this formation in a few breaths. But now, he was in a hurry to escape. Damn it. The owner of Jinglin Villa cursed, then raised his fist and blasted at the formation. However, when he broke the formation, the thunder had already fallen. Boom. 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 Thunder, like a rainstorm, blasted violently at the owner of Jinglin Villa, who had just broken through the formation. The owner of Jinglin Villa wanted to escape, but at this time, the thunder had locked his breath. The terrifying pressure locked him firmly, and he couldn't dodge at all, so he could only bear it. Ah. Su Chen, you deserve to die. A roar full of curses rang out in the area bombarded by thunder. Su Chen was too cruel this time. Not to mention that the owner of Jinglin Villa is a demon. Even an ordinary master of the god realm would be half crippled if he encountered such thunder. Su Chen looked at the rolling thunder and thought about it. The thunder of heaven and earth has exceeded the actual power of his Nine Heavens Thunder Curse. It seems that the Nine Heavens Thunder Curse is more like a trigger, and then the thunder of heaven and earth will take the initiative to increase its power. After a burst of thunder, puff, the owner of Jinglin Villa staggered and fell to the ground. But the thunder in the sky has not yet extinguished. Dead. Su Chen blinked, a little confused. He couldn't believe that a powerful man in the late stage of the divine realm could be killed so easily by the thunder of the sky. No. Li Changfeng shook his head slightly, paused. Li Changfeng continued, the vitality of the powerful man in the late stage of the divine realm is beyond your imagination. Even if Mo Xiansheng is restrained by thunder, he can't be killed like this. Hearing this, Su Chen nodded. This is the truth. Not to mention the powerful man in the late stage of the divine realm. Even the Yuan Qi master in the late stage of the Xianshan realm has a strong vitality. Since the opponent is in the late stage of the divine realm, it is naturally impossible for him to fall so easily. But the current situation makes Su Chen confused. Second update. Chapter 830. The killing begins. Slowly, the thunder tribulation came to an end. The charred and bumpy ground seemed to accuse the brutality of the thunder tribulation. Of course, the most conspicuous thing was the figure of the owner of Jinglin Villa lying in the scorched earth. His blood-colored cloak was already tattered. A corner of the mask on his face was broken, revealing part of his true appearance. Su Chen couldn't help but exclaimed in surprise. He was sure that he had never seen the owner of Jinglin Villa at all. But now, he looked a little familiar. Su Chen, did you find anything? Li Changfeng frowned and looked at Su Chen. Even he didn't see anything wrong. No. Su Chen shook his head. He really didn't find anything special. If he had to say it, he felt that this person had an inexplicable sense of familiarity. However, Su Chen didn't know whether it was his illusion or really familiar. Forget it, don't think about it. Su Chen shook his head. Now, he didn't have time to delay on this matter. Since the owner of Jinglin Villa has been severely injured by the Thunder Tribulation, the next step is to take advantage of his weakness and kill him. Thinking of this, Su Chen raised his feet and walked towards the charred figure. Snap, snap. Su Chen was tense and focused. After all, this guy's a strong man in the late stage of the divine realm. If he is not dead, a dying blow may cause Su Chen to be seriously injured and dying. A lion fights a rabbit with all its strength. What's more, in terms of the real realm, Su Chen is the rabbit and the other party is the lion. Sure enough, before Su Chen can get close enough, whoosh, a faint light suddenly broke away from the body of the owner of Jinglin Villa. This faint light looks very similar to the yin god in the yin-yang period. Cut. Su Chen almost had a conditioned reflex. In the Niwen Palace, a knife light suddenly burst out. It was the spiritual knife condensed by Su Chen's spiritual power. The knife light was invincible, as if it wanted to cut everything. However, when the spiritual sword approached the ghost light, it felt like a drop in the ocean. Su Chen's pupils shrank. The next second, a golden light flashed under his feet, and his figure retreated. At the moment he retreated, the ghost light suddenly appeared at his original position. Boy, your speed is not slow. An old voice came from the ghost light. After the voice fell, the ghost light continued to chase Su Chen. It seemed that it would not stop until it rushed into Su Chen's body, looking for death. Su Chen's eyes condensed slightly. Facing the ghost light that was chasing him relentlessly, he raised his hand and punched it. This time, Su Chen directly urged the black thunder energy. Boom. The silver-white lightning slurry, accompanied by the violent energy, flooded the ghost light. Although Su Chen didn't know what the other party was in now, but he knew that the power of thunder must have a restraining effect on it. Sure enough, the ghost light exclaimed. He didn't seem to have expected that Su Chen could not only summon thunder, but also condense thunder-attributed energy. Su Chen's move caught him off guard. Go to hell. Su Chen roared. Su Chen would not be polite to this mysterious ghost light. Lightning flashed all over his body, as if he wanted to fight the ghost light head on. Boy, we will meet again. The ghost light failed to attack for a long time, so it stopped attacking. He flashed a few times, left a harsh word and fled directly. Su Chen was about to try to chase him. At this time, don't go. Li Changfeng stopped him. Su Chen turned his head and looked. He saw Li Changfeng's face flushed. The next second, puff. Li Changfeng spit out a mouthful of bright red blood. Su Chen hurried over and supported Li Changfeng. He looked concerned. Captain Wei, I'm fine. Li Changfeng shook his head. But, Su Chen hesitated. Li Changfeng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said with a smile, do you think that fighting in the late stage of the god realm is so simple? There will always be some price to pay for the potential explosion. Su Chen couldn't help but sigh softly in his heart. In fact, he could sense a little about Li Changfeng's situation. In fact, it was not a potential explosion at all. The late stage of the god realm is indeed Li Changfeng's true strength. However, there is still a mysterious internal organ poison in his body, which prevents him from using his full strength. And Li Changfeng's attack this time was a battle with the owner of Jinglin Mountain Villa. This level of battle is far beyond ordinary battles. This time, Su Chen's healed injury directly relapsed again. And what Su Chen is most worried about is not this, but the internal organ poison invaded Li Changfeng's body more severely. Captain Wei, don't worry. I will definitely find a way to help you solve your internal organ poison. Su Chen promised. Li Changfeng smiled. He did not entangle his injuries, but said, Su Chen, solve the problem in front of you first. Hearing this, Su Chen nodded slightly. Then, he turned his head and looked around. At this time, Jinglin Villa was completely leaderless. Although the owner of Jinglin Villa was powerful, he was seriously injured and fled under Su Chen's thunder. And the Eastern Venerable Yi Changru was only half dead because of the thunder, and he was going to die. And the other masters of Jinglin Villa didn't even have a god realm. In Su Chen's eyes now, it was not worth mentioning. Seeing the murderous intent in Su Chen's eyes, all the people in Jinglin Villa begged for mercy. Mr. Su, please spare my life. Mr. Su, I have no grudges against you. I was just forced to come by Yi Changru. Please spare my life, Mr. Su. I promise I will never provoke you again. A group of innate masters of Jinglin Villa begged for mercy. Originally, they were all famous strong men in Nangzhou province. But at this moment, they were like dogs that had lost their homes and could only tuck their tails between their legs to survive. But even so, Su Chen was not going to spare their lives. Su Chen swept his cold eyes over the crowd and said in a grim tone, "If I were the one who fell now, would you spare my life?" The expressions of the people in Jinglin Villa froze. If Su Chen fell, how could they spare him? Su Chen smiled coldly. "It seems that you know the answer. In this case, there is no reason for me to spare your lives. Kill." After a loud shout, Su Chen rushed straight into the crowd. The killing started instantly. The third update. There will be another update later. Wait a moment. Chapter 831 Yang Wudi arrives. Su Chen roared and rushed forward. In an instant, the divine fist was fully exerted. Suddenly, a huge phantom of a mountain appeared. The terrifying energy made the whole space tremble slightly, and the target of this punch was naturally the many innate masters in Jinglin Villa. As the leading force in Nangzhou province, Jinglin Villa has committed many crimes over the years. It is not excessive to die 10 times for what they have done. What's more, it is now discovered that the owner of Jinglin Villa is a demon. This makes Su Chen even more unscrupulous. None of these people who dare to surround and kill him are innocent. Kill them all. Facing Su Chen's extremely terrifying punch, the innate masters of Jinglin Villa were as hen. Under the crushing of the fist, their minds were all dead, and they had no will to fight, and they completely lost the consciousness of resistance. There were a few people with slightly stronger mental power who tried to resist. But, their cultivation was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot in front of Su Chen. Boom. The violent force was raging wildly. "Ah! Spare my life!" Screams rang out one after another. All the strong men in the Xianshan realm who dared to resist had their bones and muscles broken into pieces, becoming a pool of rotten flesh. They collapsed on the ground, even having difficulty breathing. The other masters of Jinglin Villa who did not resist could not help but secretly rejoice at this time. Su Chen's attack actually bypassed them. Su Chen's control of mental power has long been meticulous. Naturally, he could detect the changes in these people. At this moment, "Old thief, don't even think about escaping." Qin Kingmui's delicate shout came. Su Chen turned his head and looked. Qin Kingmui was chasing a figure as fast as lightning. Swish! A golden light flashed under Su Chen's feet. He used the golden light to stop the fleeing figure. "Stop first." Su Chen had a faint smile on his face. "You." Seeing Su Chen appear, Zendi Bio's pupils shrank. Before, he saw Su Chen fall into a disadvantage and wanted to take the opportunity to take revenge. Unexpectedly, Su Chen's strength was so terrifying that even the owner of Jinglin Villa, who was in the late stage of the neurosis, could not kill this bastard. On the contrary, he was crippled by this guy's thunder robbery. Later, the owner of Jinglin Villa escaped by using the ghost light, which scared Zendi Bio, who had the upper hand. Seeing Su Chen settle the score and attack everyone in Jinglin Villa, he turned around and wanted to escape without thinking. Unexpectedly, Su Chen was so fast that he stopped him again. "Since you are here, don't leave," Su Chen said coldly, and then punched out. This punch did not use his full strength, but for Zendi Bio, who was like a frightened bird, it was undoubtedly a death notice from Yama. Zendi Bio was so scared that he lost his mind and hurriedly raised his hand to resist, but was easily blown away by Su Chen's punch. Qin Kingmui hurriedly followed and slapped Zendi Bio with a palm, completely subduing him. "Get Zendi Bio." Su Chen raised his footsteps and walked towards Yuzin step by step. Su Chen had no good feelings towards this Dragon Slayer inspector. Su Chen, what are you going to do?" Yuzin voice trembled a little. "Don't forget, I'm the inspector of the Dragon Slayer." In today's battle, Su Chen's strength was too scary. The owner of Jinglin Villa, who was in the late stage of the nervous system, was defeated by Su Chen. What can he do in the middle stage of the divine realm? Lan Changsheng and Li Changru, who were also in the late stage of the divine realm, died tragically in the hands of Su Chen. Even if Yu Xinbei came, I'm afraid the result would not be much better. It can be said that today's battle completely destroyed Yu Xinbei's arrogance. What am I going to do? Su Chen's mouth curled up slightly. Guess. That playful smile made Yu Xinbei feel uneasy. A trace of regret arose in his heart. If he could do it again, he would rather not come with the Liu family. You can't touch me. I'm the inspector of the Tiger Guard. If you touch me, Li Changfeng can't protect you. Yu Xinbei trembled. Really? Su Chen smiled. He turned to look at Li Changfeng and said, Guardian, what should be done if you collude with the wanted criminals and attack the Tiger Guards? Li Changfeng's eyes burst with murderous intent, and he said righteously, the crime should be punished by death. Inspector Yu, did you hear that? Su Chen spread his hands and said, you arranged for Zendiburo, the wanted criminal of the Tiger Guard, to assassinate me, didn't you? Su Chen, don't slander me. Hearing Su Chen say this, Yu Xinbei was immediately angry. This is a serious crime. Not to mention Yu Xinbei, even if someone of a high status really dared to collude with the wanted criminals to attack his colleagues, he would only have one way to go, and that was death. Before, no matter how he targeted Su Chen, he stood on the position of justice and attacked Su Chen on the premise that he killed his colleagues. If Su Chen tied him to the assassination of Zendiburo, then the problem would be serious. Su Chen ignored Yu Xinbei's rebuttal. He turned his eyes to Zhu Guodong. Oh, yes, and Zhu Zongjian. You are in collusion, working together, and plotting against me, the advisor of the Tiger Guard. It seems reasonable for me to attack you. You. Zhu Guodong, who was fighting with Zhang Tian, was so angry that his face turned red. For a while, Zhu Guodong and Yu Xinbei both wanted to escape from the battlefield. It's not worth it to give up your life for the Liu family's affairs. The Liu family is indeed powerful, but their status is not low. As long as there is no excuse, even if Su Chen wants to attack them, it won't be so easy. Just when the two of them wanted to retreat, the Liu family masters trapped in the formation were so angry that their faces turned blue. These two guys want to retreat from the battlefield. At this moment, a roar came from the bottom of the mountain. Where is Su Chen? Come and die. Then, a figure appeared on the ruined battlefield. Another person coming? Su Chen frowned slightly. He looked up. He saw that the man had a resolute face and was dressed in black, which made him look more capable and majestic. Who are you? Su Chen frowned slightly. This person's cultivation was not high, only in the early stage of the god realm. However, his momentum was more terrifying than that of an ordinary person in the middle stage of the god realm. Yang Wudi. The man uttered 3 words lightly. The 4th update is here. Good night everyone. Thank you for your support. Chapter 832 Invincible Heart. Invincible Divine Fist. Yang Wudi. Su Chen's expression was stern when he heard this name. Yang Wudi's sudden appearance really surprised Su Chen. Su Chen might be unfamiliar with other masters, but Su Chen had heard the name of Yang Wudi too many times. It can be said that Su Chen almost heard his name all the way. Whether enemies or friends, they were extremely cautious when mentioning him. In fact, many people are very secretive about him. After all, Yang Wudi, the invincible divine fist, has been invincible all the way in the martial arts. He is invincible in Zhuanjin and Xianshan realm. Before breaking through the divine realm, he has never been defeated and has been invincible all the way. Such a strong man is indeed feared by everyone. Su Chen stared at Yang Wudi and asked, Mr. Yang, what do you want to do here? Yang Wudi's eyes were as sharp as a knife. He said in a deep voice, Su Chen, you killed my disciple Feng Dao and slaughtered my brother Yang Wuming. Today I come to ask for advice. Everyone's heart sank slightly. Sure enough, it was another troublemaker. Su Chen was also a bit upset. Today he had caused trouble, and troubles came out one after another. Although Yang Wudi in front of him seemed to be only in the early stage of the god realm, Su Chen would not be careless at all. After all, the other party was invincible all the way, so he must have something unique. Even if it was a cross-level battle, it was also a common thing for Yang Wudi. At least, in terms of combat power, he was definitely not the combat power of the early stage of the god realm in front of him. Although Su Chen was cautious, He was not afraid of fighting. Because he was also invincible all the way and swept to the god realm. Now, the two most talented warriors in Dongzhou province are about to collide. The only difference is that Yang Wudi has truly broken through to the Yuanqi martial god realm. And Su Chen, although he has the combat power of the god realm, his Yuanqi realm is only the Xianshan realm. Mr. Yang, please. Su Chen stared at Yang Wudi and made a pleased gesture. For such a legend in the martial arts world, even Su Chen had to show respect. Before, the legend of Yang Wudi that he had heard of was also echoing in his heart. Since he was young, Yang Wudi has been challenging people everywhere to temper his will in martial arts. In the Mingjin stage, he never lost a single battle. In the Enjin stage, he continued to challenge people and still won all the battles. After being promoted to the Zuanjin and Xianshan realms, he still swept across the 4 directions, won every battle, and gradually became invincible. Ordinary warriors would be oppressed by his momentum before they even made a move when fighting him. The name of the invincible divine fist suppressed the entire province. Ordinary masters are even proud of not being defeated by one punch from him. This is a warrior's evaluation of Yang Wudi. At this time, seeing Yang Wudi himself, Su Chen couldn't help but stand in awe. The road of martial arts is to move forward courageously. Su Chen has been invincible in every realm along the way and has never met a real opponent. Both Su Chen and Yang Wudi are extremely talented. For such geniuses, martial arts is not only about improving strength, but more about fighting against the sky, the earth, and people, and constantly challenging themselves. Although this battle was beyond Su Chen's expectations, it was also what he expected. Boy, take my punch first. Facing Su Chen's politeness, Yang Wudi did not return the greeting, but rushed forward with a low shout. This is not because Yang Wudi does not respect his opponent. It is just because, in the past years of challenging the strong, there are fewer and fewer opponents who are worthy of his respect. Okay. Su Chen stepped back slightly and took a stance. He was not surprised at Yang Wudi's attitude. It would be wrong if a legendary master like Yang Wudi did not have a little arrogance. Take the punch. Yang Wudi shouted coldly. A punch came. Yang Wudi's punch was swaying and seemed to be very slow. It seemed that a dizzy old man in his 60s could easily catch the direction of this punch. However, in Su Chen's eyes, it was not so. This punch seemed to be very slow, but in fact it seemed slow but fast. At first it was like an immovable mountain, and the next second it turned into a landslide. This punch was actually accelerating rapidly, like a moving train. Moreover, the most important thing about this punch is not the speed, but the overwhelming momentum. Boom. The terrifying momentum is like the mighty power of heaven. It makes it difficult for the opponent to resist. If it were an ordinary innate realm expert, he would probably be scared at this time. Even a divine realm expert would be shocked by the mighty power of heaven. However, Su Chen would not be like this. Facing this punch, that was like an abyss and a prison, Su Chen was actually a little excited. He finally met an opponent worthy of his full effort. Su Chen's eyes were burning with fighting spirit. Divine Will Fist. Su Chen also punched out. Although this punch was not as powerful as Yang Wudi's, with an invincible crushing momentum, but Su Chen's punch was equally terrifying. Divine Will Fist. Su Chen is now familiar with it. Moreover, as he performed it more and more times, his understanding of Divine Will Fist became higher and higher. Divine Will Fist is not something that can be completely understood after understanding it. As he performed it more and more times, Su Chen's Divine Will Fist has long surpassed the initial entry. Apart from other things, the fist intention condensed in the Shenai fist is much more refined than before. When Su Chen first realized the Shenai fist, Liu Yuantan was amazed by Su Chen. If he saw the Shenai fist that Su Chen is performing now, he probably wouldn't think that Yang Wudi could continue to be invincible. Hey, this punch. Seeing Su Chen's Shenai fist, Yang Wudi couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly. In his mind, the scene of challenging Liu Yuantan when he was young also emerged. What kind of master is Yang Wudi? Along the way, the bright force rose, the dark force swept, and the invincible momentum was formed when the Zuan force was in place. Later, when he was in the Xianshan realm, he swept the martial arts world of Dongzhou province with an undefeated posture. Almost all opponents could not resist his 3 punches. Most opponents were defeated with 1 punch. However, Bincheng Liu Yuan relied on the Shenai fist to hold on for a long time in the hands of Yang Wudi. Yang Wudi has a very deep memory of this. However, even though Yang Wudi remembered the divine will fist, he had no intention of holding back against Su Chen. Let me see how much of your punch you have learned. Yang Wudi's expression remained indifferent. That brave punch not only did not hold back, but became even more violent. But Yang Wudi's fist intention unexpectedly condensed into a ball. First update. Chapter 833. Fist intention broken. Yang Wudi's fist intention surprised Su Chen. It turned out to be a ball. The next scene surprised Su Chen even more. Yang Wudi's fist intention ball slowly grew bigger. From the size of a ping pong ball at the beginning, it became a tennis ball, a volleyball, a basketball, until finally, what appeared in front of Su Chen was like a planetary world. The planet fell, like a punishment from heaven. Before it even came, it gave people the pressure to crush everything. Su Chen looked serious. It's not like he had never encountered powerful fist intentions before. For example, the withered monk's terrifying withered millstone was extremely fierce. If it weren't for Su Chen, ordinary strong men would probably not be able to defeat him. However, Su Chen had never encountered a fist intention like Yang Wudi that kept changing, and finally crushed like a small world. Perhaps, this ball-shaped fist intent is Yang Wudi's invincible heart. Although it was a small ball at the beginning, as he challenged all parties, and defeated more and more people, the small ball gradually became a big ball. This is the opponent's praise for Yang Wudi and his recognition of Yang Wudi. And as more opponents surrender, Yang Wudi's invincible heart will become stronger and stronger. This is a dignified and mighty crushing. Su Chen had a vague judgment in his heart. A general's success is the result of the sacrifice of thousands of soldiers. A general can only deter foreign invaders by making great achievements in battle and gaining a reputation. The same is true for the path of martial arts. The stronger and more opponents he defeated, the more awe others will have. And Yang Wudi established his reputation by fighting all the way, achieved the road to true invincibility, and forged an invincible heart. Facing Yang Wudi's fist intent crushing, that seemed like a small world, Su Chen looked solemn. Fight. Su Chen shouted in a low voice. The phantom of Yaodao Mountain was completely revealed. However, the huge Yaodao Mountain phantom seemed too weak in front of Yang Wudi's small planet world. Even though Su Chen was always confident, he was a little unsure at this time. Yang Wudi's invincibility was too strong, and in comparison, the Yaodao Mountain phantom seemed a little weak. Can it really withstand the crushing of a small world? Boom. The two terrifying fist intentions finally collided fiercely. Boom. A roar, like the collapse of the sky and the crack of the earth. Su Chen's face changed drastically. The Yaodao Mountain phantom, which had never been shaken, slowly shattered. It seemed that it was really completely crushed by the will of a small world. This was really beyond Su Chen's expectations. In his imagination, Yaodao Mountain would never collapse. But now, Yaodao Mountain collapsed. One punch. Just one punch. The invincible Yang Wudi made Su Chen see how powerful he was. This guy's indeed a terrifying existence that swept across the entire Dongzhou province martial arts world. Just the first time he made a move, it was so shocking. Puff. Su Chen spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated several steps. His entire aura suddenly weakened. The fist intent of the divine fist was broken, and Su Chen was already injured. However, Yang Wudi's invincible fist intent also flickered between reality and illusion several times, and finally dissipated into the invisible. Bang, bang. Yang Wudi was shocked and retreated 2 steps. He stared at Su Chen and made an evaluation. Boy, you are very good. In previous battles, Yang Wudi usually seemed very silent. For a martial arts fanatic like him, it is not worth wasting time talking nonsense. Only by fighting and constantly challenging masters can one tap into his potential. But now, Yang Wudi actually spoke. This scene surprised everyone who had heard of the name of the Divine Fist Invincible. In their hearing, Yang Wudi is a martial arts legend and a madman who likes to practice and fight. Moreover, he is also a martial arts madman with the potential of a top master. Even when he encounters a strong opponent, he rarely speaks. At most, He just gets crazier and crazier as he fights. For a moment, everyone looked at Su Chen with complicated eyes. This was the recognition of the invincible divine fist. In the martial arts world of Dongzhou province, the strong do not know themselves. Many people are proud of being able to survive a punch from the invincible divine fist. As for someone being able to repel Yang Wudi and even being praised by him personally, more people dare not think about it. You are not bad. You are a good opponent. Although Su Chen's breath weakened, his mental state was very good. Even when he met a terrifying opponent like Yang Wudi, he did not show any timidity on his face. Even though the first confrontation, the virtual shadow of Yaodao Mountain was directly shattered by the opponent's fist, but Su Chen did not despair, and even felt a kind of boiling blood. Seeing Su Chen's attitude, Yang Wudi was a little surprised. I shattered your fist, and cut off your martial arts path. Shouldn't you hate me? Su Chen wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, hate you? No. I should thank you. Yang Wudi was silent. Then, he raised his eyebrows slightly. Have you realized it? Yang Wudi suddenly said something inexplicable. Su Chen smiled and nodded. Thank you very much. For a moment, everyone around was confused and didn't understand what the two were talking about. Ha ha ha. Yang Wudi laughed. Good. Very good. I, Yang Wudi, challenge others everywhere and hone my martial arts through opponents and battles. I have walked on the edge of life and death, and I have also burst out more potential in despair. But I didn't expect that one day, someone would use me as a whetstone in the battle with me and reach a higher level. Hearing this, everyone looked at Su Chen in shock. It turned out that Su Chen had gained another enlightenment in the fight with Yang Wudi. Second update. Chapter 834 Dongzhou protagonist. Su Chen looked calm, but he was pleasantly surprised. Su Chen was naturally upset when the Yaodao Mountain fist was crushed by Yang Wudi. After all, the Yaodao Mountain Phantom was his fist, and also his martial arts path. The shattering of the fist phantom meant that the martial arts path was cut off. Such a result was unacceptable to any martial artist. However, this time, Su Chen was not depressed, but full of joy. The reason was very simple. He got a blessing in disguise and made further progress. After experiencing Yang Wudi's fist, Su Chen had a new understanding when the Yaodao Mountain fist was shattered. The shattering of the Yaodao Mountain Phantom might not be a bad thing for Su Chen, because he finally understood why he couldn't practice Shenai Quan to the 5th level. Su Chen had already mastered Shenai Quan by heart. In fact, his familiarity with Shenai Quan had already surpassed Liu Yuantong, the original owner of Shenai Quan. Shenai Quan is divided into 5 levels in total. Su Chen knew it when he was a beginner. The first level is the first glimpse of the door. The first level is the easiest to comprehend. When you enter this realm, you have one foot in the innate realm. Basically, most warriors with good talents can slowly get started. The second level is the entry level. Those who can practice to the entry level are already qualified to fight with fist intention. Such a strong person often has a huge advantage in front of warriors without fist intention. The third level is the fist intention transformation. The fist intention transformation is the process of fist intention solidification. According to the transformed fist intention, the characteristics of each warrior will also be integrated into the transformed fist intention. The fourth level is the 3 flowers gathering at the top of the head. There is an ancient legend that the 3 flowers gather at the top of the head and the 5 key converge. And these 3 flowers are the flowers of vitality, soul, and flesh. The 3 flowers gather fist intention and burst out with extreme power. The 5th level is the virtuality and reality from the heart. When the fist intention is condensed to a certain degree, it can change from virtuality to reality. The fist intention at this stage is immortal and indestructible. As long as the warrior does not die, the martial arts will last forever. These 5 levels are a step to heaven. Su Chen's mental power is strong, and he naturally fits in with Shinaiquan, so he practices very quickly. Since he started practicing, he has practiced to the 4th level of Shinaiquan at a very fast speed. When Su Chen completely integrated his vitality, mental power and physical strength into the fist, and reached the state of 3 flowers gathering at the top of the head, the power of Shinaiquan increased greatly. After that, Su Chen was stuck at the 4th level, and was blocked by the 5th level virtual and real from the heart. Even though Su Chen had tried many times, he still couldn't find the way to the 5th level of virtual and real from the heart of SYNOPSIS. Now, after seeing Yang Wudi's fist, he suddenly found the direction behind. Fist can also be transformed from virtual to real, and the fist to virtual and real transformation is even more useful. Su Chen's perception of SYNOPSIS has been upgraded to another level. This is a whole new level, a level he has never touched. And with the understanding, Su Chen's control over SYNOPSIS is getting stronger and stronger. The destruction of Yao Daoshan's fist gave Su Chen an opportunity to reshape his fist. Without destruction, there is no construction. Now is the time for Su Chen's Shenai fist to take another step forward. Shenai fist, go! Su Chen shouted in his heart. The next second, the huge Yao Dao mountain phantom appeared again. However, this time, the Yao Dao mountain phantom has a few more changes than before. Looking closely, the Yao Dao mountain phantom is looming, and the details are countless times stronger than before, and some parts even seem to be hidden in the void. The previous Yao Dao mountain phantom was a mountain. At that time, Su Chen had to manifest and activate the entire mountain at all times in every battle. But now, it is up to the heart to decide whether it is real or fake, and to send and receive it. Yao Dao mountain is still the same Yao Dao mountain. However, for Su Chen, it is much more handy. He can mobilize the entire Yao Dao mountain, or just activate a part of it without fully manifesting it. The benefits are obvious. At least, in future battles, Su Chen's power consumption will not be as exaggerated as before. Facing a slightly weaker opponent, a corner of Yao Dao mountain is enough to suppress it. The Shenai fist emphasizes intention rather than form, but it also consumes strength. If too much strength is consumed, the danger of the master's battle will be greatly increased. Just like Liu Yuantang in the past, because of insufficient mental power, he was completely out of control, and even attacked his own people. Su Chen is naturally not Liu Yuantang. His mental power is magnificent, and the spirit of yin and yang makes his mental power far surpass that of the same level. However, if he can consume less power to defeat his opponent, it means that Su Chen's combat power has been improved. In a melee, the combat power that can be exerted will be stronger than before. As the Shenai fist enters the virtual and real from the heart, Su Chen's fist intention is much more mysterious than before. The phantom of Yao Dao mountain is even more lifelike. Seeing Su Chen's move again, Yang Wudi also became interested. Invincible divine fist. Yang Wudi shouted softly. Suddenly, a terrifying invincible fist intention hit Yao Dao mountain again. Yang Wudi is different from Su Chen's previous opponents. His fist intention is too strong. The invincible fist intent, as if the will of the world has descended, makes people feel that the world is turning upside down. The terrifying fist intent attacked him, and Su Chen felt that he was being stared at. It was as if there was a real god of war, spanning endless years, blocking the predages of every era, and never losing. Faced with such pressure, ordinary gods might not even have the courage to make a move. Even Su Chen felt a tingling pain all over his body. And this is the result of his fist intent having been upgraded to virtual and real from the heart. The punches of both sides were equally terrifying. Two terrifying fist intents rushed towards each other again. On one side was the legendary god of war, Yang Wudi, who swept all the way from Mingjin, Anjin, Zuanjin, and Xianshan, and was invincible all the way to the god realm. On the other side was Su Chen, a martial arts leader who rose like a meteor in Dongzhou province, who had also never lost from Bincheng to the capital of Dongzhou province. At this moment, whether it was the people in Su Chen's camp or the enemy, everyone stopped their hands tacitly. They are all very curious about the outcome of this battle. Which of the two is the real protagonist of the Dongzhou province martial arts world? The third update. The update is over. Good night everyone. There should be 4 updates tomorrow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 835. Destruction before creation. The second battle between Su Chen and Yang Wudi is about to start. Everyone around was also nervous, especially the people in Su Chen's camp, who felt Yang Wudi's breathtaking momentum, couldn't help but take a deep breath. This man is so strong. Cheng Xiansun stared at Yang Wudi, his eyes full of worry. Even a master of formations like him showed a bit of solemnity on his face at this time. If this guy grows to the end, he may be able to suppress an era. Li Changfeng whispered, judging Yang Wudi. There was a trace of deep fear in his eyes. What is Li Changfeng's identity? What is his cultivation? He is the chief of the Tiger Guards of Dongzhou, a master of the late stage of the divine realm. Even he said so, and others felt it even more. Yang Wudi's strength has far exceeded everyone's understanding. A mere early stage of the divine realm has such a terrifying power, which is simply beyond common sense. However, Su Chen, who is opposite Yang Wudi, is also an unreasonable person. Su Chen held his breath and concentrated, devoting himself to the battle with Yang Wudi. Although Su Chen's vitality realm has not yet reached the divine realm, but with the 9 extremes power amplification, the heavenly realm physical body and the divine realm mental power, his combat power is not weak at all. Moreover, the breakthrough of the 5th level of the reality and the void by the heart of the divine wolfist gave Su Chen great confidence. At the beginning, in the Zhou Wanqiu stage, Liu Yuantang was able to compete with Yang Wudi with only the newly formed divine wolfist. Although in the end, Yang Wudi was still one step ahead and defeated Liu Yuantang, continuing his invincible path. But this also proves the extraordinariness of the divine wolfist. And now, Su Chen has understood the highest realm of the divine wolfist, and his combat power is naturally different. Of course, Su Chen is not careless at all. Yang Wudi's invincible heart is too strong. Although he is only in the early stage of the divine realm, his momentum is not weaker than that of an ordinary divine realm mid-stage, and even comparable to that of the divine realm late stage. Fight! Su Chen shouted in a low voice. The vigorous fist will condense into a mountain of Tao, flashing between reality and illusion. With a hint of appreciation in Yang Wudi's eyes, he crushed the huge ball of fighting spirit. Bang! Another violent collision. The terrifying energy, like a raging storm, splashed in all directions. Squeak! Su Chen and Yang Wudi's figures were directly pushed apart by the powerful force, forming 2 deep dents on the ground. In this attack, the two were evenly matched. The two retreated and shook a few times before they could barely stand, which shows how strong their strength was. Seeing this, the people watching the battle outside the field dared not step forward. With this collision, the fist intentions of the two began to change. Su Chen's Yaodao mountain was still smashed by Yang Wudi's punch as expected. Then, in a flash, it condensed again. This is the power of virtuality and reality are determined by the heart. And Yang Wudi's invincible will also changed. On the fist intention ball, it seemed that there were fresh lives falling. Weak for a moment, and then recovered. This is similar to the reunion of Su Chen's fist intent. A chess master meets a worthy opponent. A general meets a talented person. In an instant, the fighting spirit in Su Chen and Yang Wudi's eyes burned together. Although there is a gap in age between them, they are both peerless geniuses of the same level. Now, they finally meet the same kind. Invincible divine fist, come again. Yang Wudi shouted. Then, he punched again. This time, it was his 3rd punch, and it was also the 3rd time in history that he fought with his opponent with all his strength. Yang Wudi has always crushed his opponents and swept everything. In previous battles, his terrifying and domineering fist intent would make his opponents give up resistance as soon as it appeared. Many warriors, facing Yang Wudi's extremely terrifying will, have already lost the courage to fight, let alone take the initiative to attack. Divine Wolfist, kill. Su Chen also shouted. The next second, he directly urged the Yaodao mountain fist intent, and continued to fight Yang Wudi head on. Although the previous 2 violent collisions caused the Yaodao mountain phantom to be completely shattered, but at the same time, Su Chen also got an unexpected surprise. Only after 1,000 hammers and 100 tempers can steel be made. Su Chen naturally understood this principle. Now, he was delighted to find that after the fist intention of Shilaikun reached the 5th level, it could be tempered in this way. In the past, Su Chen only relied on the deepening of his understanding of Shilaikun to gradually improve the power of Shilaikun, and did not discover this no destruction, no construction path. The reason is actually very simple. Su Chen's previous opponents, their fist intentions were not enough to shake the Yaodao Ocean virtual image. Fist intention is not the realm of vitality. Even if the opponent's realm is much higher than Su Chen, if the fist intention is not strong enough, it is also impossible to have an impact on the Yaodao Ocean fist intention. Just like diamond and soil, even if the area of the soil is large, its hardness cannot be compared with diamond. This is a qualitative difference. Boom. Another violent collision. As expected, Su Chen's Yao Daotian virtual image collapsed again. But Su Chen was neither sad nor happy, and quickly condensed it into shape again. Su Chen's Yao Dao mountain phantom became clearer and clearer as it was shattered and formed again and again. The appearance of Yao Dao mountain became more and more spiritual and physical, and it was more like the mountain in Su Chen's village. This scene sounds mysterious. In fact, it's like repairing and restoring an old photo. The same is true for Su Chen's boxing tempering. Yao Dao mountain has become clearer from a faint phantom. And Yang Wudi's face was also a little excited. He also found a kind of long lost excitement and excitement of fighting. Bang bang bang. The sound of the two fighting was endless. The terrifying energy was everywhere, but the parties involved in the battle were not tired at all. The warriors watching the battle around were a little numb. Such a high intensity battle, these two guys can persist for so long. Su Chen relied on the comprehension of Shiaiqun, and after breaking through the 5th level of virtual reality from the heart, the loss was greatly reduced. And Yang Wudi relied purely on his invincible fighting spirit and his strong martial arts cultivation far beyond his peers. Not far away, seeing Su Chen's fist being crushed again and again, Cheng Xianxin couldn't help but look worried. He turned to look at Zhang Tai'an and said, "Master Zhang, my elder brother doesn't seem to be a match for this Yang Wudi. Every time my elder brother's fist was formed, it was crushed by him. This old guy is too powerful. Should we help my elder brother?" First update. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 836 The Advantages in Me. Cheng Xianxin looked worried. Zhang Tai'an turned around and looked at Yu Xinbei, Zhu Guodong and others who were watching eagerly, and shook his head. "No, if we take action, Yu Xinbei and others will definitely stop us," Zhang Tai'an said in a deep voice. Cheng Xianxin said angrily, "If this continues, my elder brother's fist will be completely broken, and I'm afraid that the road to martial arts will be completely cut off." Zhang Tai'an did not speak, but turned to look at the battle between Su Chen and Zhang Tai'an. Suddenly, "Huh!" Zhang Tai'an exclaimed. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. He whispered, "Master Cheng Qi, this time, you are wrong." Cheng Xianxin was stunned. He hurriedly asked, "What are you wrong about?" Zhang Tai'an chuckled. "Do you think that the master uncle is unable to resist now? Isn't it?" Cheng Xianxin asked doubtfully. Zhang Tai'an said lightly, "Do you know why Yang Wudi said that the master uncle was using him as a whetstone?" Cheng Xianxin looked confused. Everyone also heard the conversation between Su Chen and Yang Wudi just now. He thought that Su Chen had really improved a lot. However, when Su Chen and Yang Wudi continued to fight, Yao Daotian fist intent continued to collapse. This puzzled him. How could this be any improvement? Was Yang Wudi joking? Others around him thought so as well. Zhang Tai'an smiled. He reminded him, "Observe the fist intent of the master's uncle carefully. Pay special attention to the changes in the fist intent of the master's uncle every time he recondenses it." Cheng Xianxin looked puzzled. Then, he looked up and watched carefully. He saw that during the battle between Su Chen and Yang Wudi, the phantom of Yao Daotian kept breaking and then recondensing. Soon, Cheng Xianxin saw the way. A trace of astonishment flashed across Cheng Xianxin's face. Zhang Tai'an smiled. "Did you see it?" "Yeah." Cheng Xianxin nodded excitedly. Then, he said excitedly, "Brother's fist intention, that is, the mountain, will be more condensed every time it breaks and condenses. Brother is not powerless to fight back. He is using Yang Wudi's fist intention to sharpen his own fist intention." Zhang Tai'an nodded. "That's right." Cheng Xianxin said, "In this way, this battle will not only cause more losses to brother, but also bring more benefits." Finally, the two of them felt relieved again. At this time, other people in the field also found that Su Chen was not right. Everyone couldn't help but watch carefully. They were also curious about why Su Chen was so tenacious. Fist intention shattered again and again, but it could be reshaped. Generally speaking, for ordinary warriors, it is extremely difficult to form fist intention. And the shattering of fist intention means that the road to martial arts is facing severance. But Su Chen shattered fist intention again and again, and condensed again and again. Doesn't it mean that he is not afraid that he will not be able to reunite fist intention once, and the road to martial arts will be completely cut off? Where does Su Chen get this confidence? Almost all the people present are powerful people in the god realm. With full concentration, everyone slowly saw the mystery. For a moment, Yu Bei and others' faces changed instantly. I know. Su Chen is tempering himself with Yang Wudi's invincible fist. No destruction, no construction. He is recondensing his fist. This guy actually made a new breakthrough in the battle. For a moment, everyone looked at Su Chen as if he were a monster. At this moment, whether it was Su Chen's friends or Su Chen's enemies, they were all silent. Su Chen's talent was really terrifying. It was no accident that this guy had grown to this point. If he was allowed to continue to grow, then the opponents who were already afraid of Su Chen now felt a tingling sensation on their scalps. Yang Wudi, I'll help you. At this moment, a roar came. It was Yu Bei. Obviously, he didn't want to see Su Chen continue to grow. Yang Wudi, I'll lend you a hand too. Then, another roar came. This person was naturally Zhu Guodong. Although these two people had a grudge against Su Chen because of the Liu family, they have now completely forged a deadly feud with Su Chen. No matter what, they don't want to see Su Chen continue to grow. Yu Bei, Zhu Guodong, how dare you? Zhang Taiyan shouted coldly. His figure flashed and directly stood in front of the two people. The next second, Cheng Xianxin also reacted. Two bastards, you are looking for death. Cheng Xianxin was furious. In his opinion, Su Chen's battle with Yang Wudi was a great opportunity for Su Chen. These two bastards suddenly intervened, which was a crime. No matter what, these two people must not be allowed to disturb Su Chen. At this time, Yang Maohe, who had always been low-key, suddenly took action. Inspector Yu, Inspector Zhu, you two go and kill Su Chen, I'm here. He took action directly, trying to stop Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Taiyan. However, Cheng Xianxin was not prepared to give him a chance to stop too. Old man Yan, get out. Cheng Xianxin roared. Then, he raised his hand to activate the extremely cold glass cover and directly stopped Yang Maohe. Arsehole. Yang Maohe's face turned black, and he was stopped directly. Zhang Taiyan, on the other hand, rushed to Yu Bei and Zhu Guodong. He swung his whisk and fought 1 against 2 to prevent them from joining the encirclement of Su Chen. For a while, although Yu Bei, Zhu Guodong, and Yan Maohe were extremely anxious, but the three of them were still stopped by Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Taiyan. On the side, Qin Qingmei showed a relaxed smile on her face. Until this moment, Su Chen's camp was completely in the upper hand. Now, the Liu family masters are trapped in the formation of Qingxin Courtyard. The power of the 7th level formation is not an instantaneous achievement. The only master left outside by the Liu family is Yan Maohe. Although he is a formation master, he does not have time to calmly arrange a powerful formation and cannot exert his maximum strength. There are quite a few masters from Jinglin Villa. Unfortunately, they came at the wrong time and lost their lives in vain. Almost all the masters of the innate realm were slaughtered. Lian Changsheng and Li Changru, 2 masters of the middle stage of the divine realm, died directly. Even the owner of the manor in the late stage of the divine realm fled. The entire Jinglin Villa was annihilated. Now, the only enemies in the open are Yu Bei, Meng Diqiu, Yan Maohe, and Yang Wudi. As long as they are dealt with, even if the Liu family in Qingxin Courtyard breaks out of the formation, it won't be too much trouble. The advantage is mine. Second update. Chapter 837. The Surge of Hidden Enemies. Looking at Su Chen's side, he has a firm advantage. Not only are there 2 masters, Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Taiyan, there is also Qin Qingmei, the captain of the special operations team of the Tiger Guard, and Li Changfeng, the head of the guard. Although Zhang Langhe was seriously injured and unable to fight, Meng Diqiu still has fighting power and can still fight. Moreover, there is Zhou Wanqiu who has been hiding in the dark, waiting for the crisis to come before taking action to protect people. It can be said that Su Chen's camp has the ability to crush the opponent, but it is difficult to take action due to their status. If Yan Lao, Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong did not take action, it would be fine. Now, once they take action, it is like poking a hornet's nest. Zhang Taiyan and Cheng Xianzhen are enough for them to drink a pot. What's more, there are Li Changfeng, Qin Qingmei, Meng Diqiu and Zhang Junqiu. Bang, bang, bang. The battle between Su Chen and Yang Wudi was not interrupted by this episode. Even if Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong spoke, Yang Wudi's expression remained calm. He still attacked in an orderly manner. The same is true for Su Chen. As for Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong, he didn't take them seriously at all. Both of them are top level masters. In such a fierce battle, changes in the outside world can no longer cause them to fluctuate at all. The movement outside could not attract the attention of Su Chen and the others. However, Su Chen's battle caused an uproar in the outside world. As time passed, the battle in Kingsang Mountain was soon spread by spies from all sides. Dongzhou Province, the provincial capital of the Bei family. There was no excitement in the family. Even the bodyguards and servants were dejected. Since the last time, Su Chen came to the door and killed a lot. As a result, the Bei family not only failed to do anything to Su Chen, but was forced to spit out the assets of the Han family that they had eaten. Since then, the prestige of the Bei family has been declining. The Bei family is like a dog with a broken spine, and no longer has the arrogance and domineering before. You know, the Bei family was the strongest among the 8 families at its peak. There is even a faint trend of unifying Dongzhou province. Although the family is not in decline now, it seems sad and lonely compared to the past. However, at this moment, in the Bei family's reception room, all the Bei family members have received the news about Kingsang Mountain. For a moment, everyone in the Bei family was extremely excited. Bei Xinlei said excitedly, "Dad, let's go to Kingsang Mountain quickly, this is a rare opportunity." The face of the White Dragon King was full of hesitation. The last time, Su Chen's invincible posture in the Bei family had already made him feel scared. What's more, he heard that Su Chen now has a real divine combat power. Seeing this, Bei Xinlei continued to persuade him, "Dad, I know you are worried. Su Chen's strength is improving rapidly. But this time, it is the Shangjing Liu family that takes the lead. Jinglan Villa cooperates, and there are many masters in the God realm. This time, Su Chen will definitely die. If we don't take action, the face lost by the Bei family will never be regained. In the capital of Dongzhou, our family's prestige will no longer be the same as before. Other families are also waiting for our news. How can you?" At this moment, a voice came. "Second brother, take action." A figure suddenly appeared. It was the Bei family's God realm master, Bei Longxiang. "Brother, how can you?" Bei Longwan looked at Bei Longxiang. "Humph." Bei Longxiang snorted coldly and said, "Su Chen doesn't know how to live or die, and dares to offend the Dragon Slayer God. We are just the icing on the cake." "Brother, what about the Rang family and the Zhu family?" Bei Longwan hesitated and asked, "Will this opportunity to add icing on the cake be given to other families?" Together, a trace of murderous intent flashed in Bei Longxiang's eyes. He said in a cold voice, "I have already notified those 2 families. In addition, the 4 major families in Jiangnan province will also send gods to come. You go to take them." "What? There are other strong men?" The White Dragon King was shocked. His fear of Su Chen suddenly subsided a lot. At the beginning, Su Chen came to the Bei family and killed everyone, and he could even take a blow from his elder brother. Now, Su Chen is stronger, and he is still worried about not having enough manpower. Now it seems that the elder brother is still far-sighted. Su Chen, this bastard, is really a disaster. He actually offended so many masters. "Okay, big brother, I'll go now." As he said this, the White Dragon King ran out of the door excitedly. Soon, in the meeting room of the Bei family, a strong aura emerged. The White Dragon King walked in front and led a group of masters in. "Brother, these 4 strong men are all from Jiangnan province. Feng Horan from the Feng family, Zheng Bi from the Zheng family, Lin Emo from the Lin family, and He Yaokan from the He family. 4. This is my elder brother Beilanxiang. The White Dragon King introduced respectfully. The 4 leading men had a Kamora, and they were all powerful masters of the God Realm. Brother Bei has already entered the middle stage of the God Realm, and we are far behind. The 4 powerful masters of the God Realm sensed it and couldn't help but bow their hands together, with solemn faces. Beilanxiang didn't put on airs and greeted everyone. Hello everyone, I hope everyone will work together to kill Su Chen this time. Lin Jialin smiled silently and said, Brother Bei, don't worry. That little beast Su Chen robbed my Lin family's 3 spiritual flowers in the stalactite cave in Shilin City, Nanzhou province, and also injured the younger generation of my 4 major families. If he doesn't take my 4 major families in Jiangnan province into consideration, he will seek his own death. Brother Bei, shall we set off now? Beilanxiang waved his hand and said, don't worry, there are still helpers who haven't arrived yet. The 4 major masters of the God Realm were shocked that there were still masters coming. This Su Chen actually offended so many masters. Ha ha ha. Brother Bei, fellow Taoists, I've kept you waiting for a long time. At this time, a loud laugh came from outside. In a blink of an eye, another old man in a green shirt suddenly appeared in the hall. This man was named Mo Shenggu. At the beginning, Su Chen went to the Zhou family and made a scene because of an Linglang. Zhou Zishan, a master from the branch of the Zhou family, was Mo Shenggu's apprentice. Brother Mo, you are too polite. Beilanxiang bowed. Brother Mo, you came here today, probably to kill that Su Chen and vent your anger for your disciple, right? Of course. Mo Shenggu nodded. A murderous intent emerged in his eyes. That kid Su Chen took advantage of my absence to bully my disciple's family. How can I let him go? Brother Bei, everyone, let's go. Mo Shenggu asked. Beilanxiang smiled. There is another helper. Everyone was a little numb. How many people did this Su Chen offend? The third update. Chapter 838. Enemies arrive. Everyone looked at Beilanxiang. Beilanxiang raised his hand and bowed slightly to the void, saying, Master Wu Chen, since you are already here, why don't you come out and say hello to everyone? Whoosh. Another figure appeared in the hall. This person was dressed in a Taoist robe, with white hair and a youthful face, and had a bit of immortal style. Congratulations to Master Wu Chen for breaking through the divine realm. Beilanxiang bowed politely. Taoist Wu Chen bowed slightly in return. Brother Bei, you are polite. Beilanxiang introduced Master Wu Chen to everyone. Then, he asked, Master Wu Chen, are you here to kill Su Chen this time? Taoist Wu Chen nodded. I'm originally an outsider, but I have been worshipped by the Rang family for many years. Su Chen killed Rang Rui's and Rang King Feng of the Rang family, and also killed many worshippers of the Rang family. Killing such a mad beast is not only to act on behalf of heaven, but also to settle the cause and effect for me. Beilanxiang nodded, with a smile on his face. He turned his head and looked at the many divine realms in the field, and his confidence increased. Su Chen is a beast who is rampant and has offended our major families. Today, on Kingsang Mountain, the Shangjing Liu family and Jinglin Villa have already attacked him. But Su Chen is extremely cunning and must be prepared. And we are a surprise force. No matter what Su Chen has, he will definitely die. Everyone, let's go. Go to Kingsang Mountain and kill Su Chen. As soon as the voice fell, whoosh, 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 a series of terrifying figures rushed out of the Bei family in an instant. The destination is Kingsang Mountain. At this time, on Kingsang Mountain, outside the Kingsang courtyard, boom, loud explosions. The battle between Su Chen and Yang Wudi is still going on. Countless collisions between the two sides caused Su Chen's Yaodao mountain phantom to shatter and condense. At this point in the battle, Su Chen's breath was already unstable. After all, his vitality cultivation was only at the Xianshan realm. The degree of vitality is far from comparable to that of the real God realm. However, fortunately, after the Shenai Fist entered the 5th level, the consumption has been greatly reduced. Moreover, Su Chen still has the elixir prepared in advance, and there are yin-yang spirit and longevity in his body to help him recover continuously. However, even so, it is still difficult for Su Chen to defeat Yang Wudi. After all, Yang Wudi is a genuine God realm strongman. When the two were fighting hard, A roar came from the bottom of the mountain. Su Chen, come and die. Followed by a terrifying god realm aura. Who? Everyone looked back at the same time, with different expressions. Swish. A blade light broke through the air. The person who came didn't say anything, but suddenly attacked. The sharp blade light seemed to cross the galaxy. Deng deng deng. Su Chen flashed repeatedly. Looking up, Su Chen's eyes were full of solemnity. The person who came was not unfamiliar. It was Bei Longxiang of the Bei family. At the beginning, Su Chen had taken a knife from him. Now, the old man splitting the mountain and breaking the sea is even more powerful. The terrifying blade light, like a giant axe that split the world, chopped towards Su Chen with the momentum of annihilating everything. Be careful. The faces of the strong men changed drastically, and they shouted in a hurry. This knife that split the sea and broke the mountain is too terrifying. After several battles, Su Chen's breath was quite weak, and he didn't even have time to resist. Swish. A golden light flashed, and Su Chen hurriedly avoided the attack. It was the golden light that stretched the earth. Su Chen avoided it. The terrifying blade light slashed fiercely on the ground. Boom. Where the blade light passed, the ground instantly cracked into a terrifying gully. Boy, you are lucky. Bei Longxiang snorted coldly. However, he did not stop, but condensed the terrifying blade light again. Bei Longxiang, you dare to attack the senior advisor of the Tiger Guard? Qin Qingme's pretty face was frosty. There was a strong murderous intent in her beautiful eyes. HMPH. What a big hat. Bei Longxiang snorted coldly. Then, he said arrogantly, we are here to help the Dragon Slayer guards capture Su Chen, the murderer. Do you have any objection? Yuzin Bei said hurriedly, yes, Brother Bei was invited by this inspector. He had also been unhappy with Qin Qingme for a long time. You. Qin Qingme's pretty face turned cold with anger. She didn't expect that the originally good situation would have complications. Bei Longxiang of the Bei family actually brought so many masters of the god realm to kill. The internal affairs of the Tiger Slayer guards are decided by our Tiger Slayer guards. It is not the turn of outsiders to intervene. Li Changfeng stepped forward to protect Qin Qingme. Yuzin Bei said angrily, Li Changfeng, although you are the chief of the Tiger Slayer guards of Dongzhou, the Tiger Slayer guards are not yours to decide. Su Chen is guilty of rebellion and deserves death. A faint smile appeared at the corner of Bei Longxiang's mouth. This favor was given. Moreover, with Yuzin Bei's words, he also had a reason to take action. Su Chen, prepare to die. Splitting mountains and breaking seas. Bei Longxiang continued to attack. This blade was even more powerful than before. The terrifying blade seemed to split the world in half. Su Chen's eyes condensed. Even though the blade had not yet touched him, he felt as if his body was torn apart. You know, Su Chen is now in the physical body of the heavenly man realm. Even without full defense, he cannot be injured by ordinary attacks from the god realm. For a moment, Su Chen was in a dilemma. In front of him, Bei Longxiang suddenly attacked, and behind him, Yang Wudi was still fighting. Few people could withstand the front and back attacks of the two masters. Bei Longxiang's blade was sharp, and if the terrifying blade fell on him, he would be seriously injured if he didn't die. Yang Wudi's fist was invincible, and if one was not careful, he might be directly crushed by the invincible intent. The attacks of the two people could not be ignored. Bei Longxiang's eyes showed a ferocious smile. This was the effect he wanted. He seemed to have seen the scene where Su Chen was hit by the blade and directly cut into two pieces. The next second, Su Chen gritted his teeth and said, let's fight. Whoosh. Su Chen ignored Yang Wudi and took the initiative to kill Bei Longxiang. Damn little thief, he would rather be hit by Yang Wudi than be killed by me. Bei Longxiang's face was full of ferocity. In his opinion, Su Chen was just a trapped beast. Su Chen faced him, which meant that his back was exposed to Yang Wudi. As long as Yang Wudi followed and attacked from behind, Su Chen would probably fall here. After all, Yang Wudi, who could defeat the same level, was no weaker than Bei Longxiang now. Divine Fist. Su Chen shouted and appeared in front of Bei Longxiang. He ignored what was behind him and directly urged the phantom of Yaodao Mountain to smash the terrifying sword light. Bei Longxiang's sword light was sharp, splitting the sea and breaking the mountains. However, Su Chen did not retreat, but instead, with the power of Yaodao Mountain, he slammed over fiercely. Boom. A violent roar. The phantom of Yaodao Mountain instantly shattered a corner. But the terrifying blade light also shattered, no longer threatening. Brother Yang, please help me. Beilang Xiang was very angry and bowed to Yang Wudi. He knew that he could not take down Su Chen. However, Yang Wudi withdrew his hand and stood with his hands raised. You. Beilang Xiang's face changed. The fourth update. Today's update is over. Finally a little early. Thank you for your support. Good night. Everyone, go to bed early. Chapter 839 Grandmaster's Demeanor. Beilang Xiang looked at Yang Wudi in astonishment. He was still looking forward to working with Yang Wudi to kill Su Chen. However, Yang Wudi did not respond. Instead of attacking, he put away his fist and stood aside. He looked as if he was saying, you fight first, and I will attack you after you finish fighting. Brother Yang, you. Beilang Xiang was furious. Could it be that this guy wanted to reap the benefits? Just when Beilang Xiang was angry and annoyed, Su Chen felt relieved. He made the right bet. Su Chen had to make a choice when he was caught between the two of them. It was because Yang Wudi's fist had an upright momentum. Su Chen also believed that he was not a despicable person, so he decisively chose to fight Beilang Xiang. Facts have proved that Su Chen's choice is correct. Yang Wudi is indeed a master and does not act like a villain. At this time, without the threat of Yang Wudi, Su Chen's pressure was greatly reduced. He slightly bowed to Yang Wudi, then looked at Beilang Xiang with a cold look. Beilang Xiang was panicked. Everyone, please lend me a hand. Yang Wudi did not make a move, so Beilang Xiang could only call for other helpers. He had no confidence in Su Chen now. Fortunately, he brought a lot of powerful gods with him this time. Kill. With a loud shout, a burst of energy burst out. It was Shen Yuanling, the god-level worshipper of the Bei family, Imo Shengu from the Zhou family, Taoist Huachen from the Rang family, and Feng Horan, Zheng Bi, Lin Emo and Yi Yaokan from Jiangnan province. Hiss. Seeing this scene, Zhang Taian and Cheng Xianxin couldn't help but take a breath. There are 7 more gods-level masters. With these people, Su Chen can't beat them, even if he has 3 heads and 6 arms. It's a pity that Zhang Taian and Cheng Xianxin are still blocking Yuzhen Bei, Zhu Guodong and Yan Meohe, and have no time to make another move. Fortunately, Su Chen's camp still has extra people. Swish. Qin Qingmu's figure flashed, and she immediately stopped a master from Jiangnan province. Zhang Long, who struggled to get up, but could only fall down helplessly. Meng Diqiu hesitated for a moment, and then went to find the weakest Shen Yuanling. And Li Changfeng also flashed. He directly intercepted the other 3 masters from Jiangnan province. But at this time, Imo Shengu of the Zhou family and Taoist Huachen of the Rang family were not stopped. The 2 went straight to Su Chen, wanting to cooperate with Beilang Xiang to kill Su Chen. Zhang Jinqiu, who was hiding in the dark, was about to make a move. Suddenly, a figure stood up like a gun and blocked Imo Shengu and Taoist Huachen. It was none other than Yang Wudi, who had fought with Su Chen to death before. Everyone was stunned. Brother Yang, what do you mean? Beilang Xiang's face was livid. Everyone came to deal with Su Chen, but now Yang Wudi blocked them? It doesn't mean anything. Yang Wudi smiled faintly. There was contempt in his eyes. I don't care if you fight alone. If you want a siege, ask my fists first. You. Beilang Xiang's face was livid. He was about to explode. Brother, you and Su Chen are enemies. Isn't it enough to kill him? Why do you care whether it is a one-on-one fight? Do you think that others are like you and like to challenge everywhere? Although he was complaining in his heart, Beilang Xiang didn't dare to say it out loud. No other reason. For a martial arts fanatic like Yang Wudi, it's useless to talk about reason. If he talked too much, Yang Wudi might turn the gun around and point it at him. What a bad luck. I didn't check the almanac before going out, and I met such a brainless guy. Beilang Xiang cursed in his heart. Several people in Su Chen's camp were also a little confused. Yang Wudi's temper is really hard to figure out. Before, he was determined to kill Su Chen. Now, he turned around and started to stand up for Su Chen. Could it be that this guy is so protective of his food? At this time, Su Chen also had 10,000 question marks in his heart. He thought that with Yang Wudi's arrogance, He would fight him openly and squarely, and would not use more people to defeat fewer people, and take advantage of the chaos to attack. But he never thought that Yang Wudi could do this. After all, he and Yang Wudi had a deep hatred. Whether it was the death of his last disciple Feng Dao or the death of his brother Yang Wuming, it was a life and death feud. Yang Wudi, the invincible fist of the god, is a true gentleman. Even Su Chen had to secretly praise him in his heart. Su Chen had no worries, so he fought with Beilang Xiang completely. For a while, Yaodao Mountain and the sword light collided wildly. Boom. Although Beilang Xiang's sword light was sharp, it had no advantage when facing Su Chen's Yaodao Mountain fist intention, but was constantly crushed. Su Chen showed a smile on his face. If he had fought with Yang Wudi before, he might not have been able to crush Beilang Xiang's sword light. But after realizing that real and fake are determined by the heart, Yaodao's fist intention was broken and gathered again, and its resilience was already amazing. At the beginning of the fight, Beilang Xiang's sword light could still cut off a corner of Yaodao. As time went on, the threat of that terrifying sword light shrank again and again. Beilang Xiang's face became more and more ugly. The last time Su Chen went to the Bei family to make a scene, he escaped from his hands with the help of Zhang Jinqiu. But now when they fight again, he can't hurt him at all. This is hard for Beilang Xiang to accept. Die. Beilang Xiang's face was gloomy, and he attacked frantically. However, Su Chen was amazingly resilient. Not only did he resolve his attacks again and again, but his combat power did not weaken at all. What embarrassed Beilang Xiang the most was that the sword light he was proud of became useless against Su Chen's fist intention, splitting mountains and breaking seas. Beilang Xiang roared. He had forgotten how many times he had used this move. However, as the battle progressed, the effect was getting worse and worse. Beilang Xiang became more and more frustrated. He felt that he had completely become Su Chen's whetstone. And the fact is, it is indeed so. First update. Chapter 840. Bei Family's Tragedy. Compared to Yang Wudi, Beilang Xiang's sword intent is terrifying, but it is not yet invincible. Facing Yang Wudi's attack, Su Chen needs to exert all his strength every time, and the phantom of Yaodao Mountain is shattered again and again. But now, facing Beilang Xiang, Su Chen does not need to reveal the entire Yaodao Mountain. Just a corner can block a lot of power. Su Chen can calmly use Beilang Xiang's sword intent to polish his fist intent. In fact, if Su Chen wanted to kill Beilang Xiang, he would have had the opportunity long ago. However, now he is not so anxious. If he does not make good use of such a whetstone that is delivered to his door, he will really let down the Bei family, who is always thinking about seeking revenge on him. For a warrior to improve his strength, except for the realm breakthrough, other perceptions are great opportunities. Yang Wudi is Su Chen's great opportunity, and Beilang Xiang is also Su Chen's opportunity. As time goes by, a faint smile gradually emerges at the corner of Su Chen's mouth. After Yang Wudi's hard hitting, and Beilang Xiang's meticulous carving, Yaodao's fist finally reached its peak. Old man, you can go to hell. Su Chen's eyes turned cold. The next second, Su Chen's vitality, mental strength and physical strength surged out, condensing into a punch to attack. The raging power suddenly burst out. Beilang Xiang's eyes were full of horror. He didn't expect that Su Chen had held back before. Beilang Xiang didn't have time to think about it, and slashed out hastily. The blade was powerful, but slightly inferior to the previous one. Dang. A crisp sound. The sharp blade hit the Yaodao phantom fiercely. The next second, the blade broke into pieces, and it seemed that the sound of metal could be heard. On the other hand, Su Chen's Yaodao was not only not shattered, but there was also an extremely terrifying blade mark on the surface. That's right. This blade mark was Beilang Xiang splitting the mountain and breaking the sea. Now, it was swallowed by Su Chen's fist and condensed on Yaodao Mountain. Beilang Xiang's face was full of horror. He had never heard of such a strange fist, which could even swallow his sword. This was not because Beilang Xiang was making a fuss. It was because most martial artists had never reached this level. The same was true for Su Chen before. The reason why Su Chen realized this was also in the confrontation with Yang Wudi. From Yang Wudi's fist. Yang Wudi's fist was different from that of ordinary masters. His fist was unpredictable, like a whirlwind, able to suppress all enemies. After many fights, Su Chen finally figured out the reason. Yang Wudi has challenged many strong men over the years and destroyed the martial arts hearts of countless strong men. But the fist, sword, and sword intentions of those strong men did not completely disappear, but were completely condensed in Yang Wudi's terrifying fist. What is invincible? Destroying everything and crushing everything is the real invincibility. Yang Wudi did it. Along the way, his opponents were strong and weak. But the intentions of most strong men have been absorbed by his spherical fist intention. Su Chen is the same. Along the way, he has never had an opponent. But the virtual image of Yaodao Mountain is too domineering, and ordinary fist intentions are not worthy of its attention. It was not until Beilangxiang's splitting mountains and breaking seas appeared that the virtual image of Yaodao Mountain really felt the deliciousness and merged this sword light into Yaodao Mountain. You are no longer valuable, Su Chen whispered, as Yaodao Mountain merged into the splitting mountains and breaking sea sword intention. Its power reached a new level. As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen punched out again. This punch was still the fist of divine intention. However, there was an extra sword mark on the virtual image of Yaodao Mountain, and Su Chen's fist intention also had an extra sharp cutting intention. I will fight you. Split mountains and break seas. Beilangxiang roared and slashed out again. He was almost crazy. Beilangxiang's martial arts heart was shattered by Su Chen's beating, and the sword light that should have been extremely terrifying was now only a mere form. Su Chen didn't resist at all. He just used the phantom of Yaodao Mountain to pick it up. In an instant, the blade light broke into pieces. The phantom of Yaodao Mountain slammed fiercely into Beilangxiang's chest. Puff! A mouthful of old blood spurted out, and Beilangxiang's face was as pale as gold paper. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Su Chen's golden light flashed. He appeared in front of Beilangxiang and punched him down suddenly. Su Chen, stop it. The White Dragon King and the people of the Bei family who followed him were immediately anxious. The White Dragon King's eyes were even more bloodshot, and his eyes were full of begging. Too late. Su Chen smiled coldly. This punch fell without hesitation. When the Bei family attacked him again, the outcome was already determined. Kill him. The White Dragon King's eyes were red. Beilangxiang was dead, and the pillar of the Bei family fell. The Bei family would never have a chance to rise again. At this time, the White Dragon King was completely crazy, looking for death. Su Chen was silent, facing the Bei family master who rushed over. Su Chen's backhand was a killing move. There was no mercy or kindness on his face. Those who kill will be killed. Su Chen had given the Bei family a chance. But the Bei family didn't cherish it. Then Su Chen would naturally not be polite anymore. Su Chen punched out one punch after another. The terrifying power was like autumn wind sweeping fallen leaves. No ordinary master of the Bei family could match him. Su Chen was too powerful now. Not to mention ordinary innate realm. Even the early stage of the divine realm didn't dare to fight him head on. An ant trying to shake a tree. Yang Wudi glanced at the Bei family with disdain. He did not help the Bei family out. Such people who don't know how to live or die are not worthy of sympathy. It's your turn. Su Chen turned around and walked step by step towards Shen Yuanling, the god-level worshipper of the Bei family. Spare my life. Seeing Su Chen coming, Shen Yuanling knelt on the ground with a thump. Haha, it was you who attacked me back then, wasn't it? Su Chen narrowed his eyes slightly and said condescendingly. Su Chen, I was wrong. I was just following orders. I won't dare to do it again. Shen Yuanling kowtowed repeatedly. Su Chen sneered. Unfortunately, it's too late. He raised his hand and punched out. Shen Yuanling's face changed drastically. He wanted to stop him, but Su Chen at the moment was simply overwhelming for him who had just entered the realm of God. Boom. Shen Yuanling's body was thrown into the air, and he was silent in an instant. There are two more. Su Chen turned his head and looked to the side. Then he walked forward. At this moment, Su Chen was the god of death holding a sickle, harvesting lives everywhere. Second update. Chapter 841 solved one by one. Su Chen's figure flashed and rushed forward. Taoist Huachan and Mo Shenggu, who were originally confronting Yang Wudi, could not help but feel better in their hearts. In front of Yang Wudi, they did not dare to fight. After all, the name of Yang Wudi, the invincible divine fist, was too big. Even though they were both powerful in the divine realm. But when facing Yang Wudi, they still felt as weak as ants. Thank you. Su Chen clasped his fists and bowed to Yang Wudi. Yang Wudi nodded, said nothing, and stepped aside. The two were also powerful people who swept all the way, and they felt a little sympathetic to each other. I don't know, what grudge do I have with you two? Su Chen's eyes moved back and forth between Taoist Wu-Chen and Mo Shenggu. No. Taoist Wu-Chen's voice was a little trembling, and the whisk in his hand was shaking wildly, as if he had Parkinson's disease. He had just broken through the divine realm, and could not have the slightest desire to resist. I was just passing by with a friend. Mo Shenggu also stuttered. No? Passing by? That's a pity. Su Chen pinched his chin. His eyes were cold, scanning the two people back and forth. The Taoist priest is Wu Chen, and he is the worshipper of the Ran family in the provincial capital. I don't know when he broke through to the divine realm. The other guy is called Mo Shenggu. He has an apprentice named Su Chen, who is a member of the Zhou family of the 8 major families in the provincial capital. Qin Kingmu's voice came from afar. Su Chen immediately understood everything. So that's it. Taoist Wu Chen and Mr. Mo. Nice to meet you. Su Chen smiled and bowed, but there was a hint of murderous intent in his eyes. Mr. Su, we admit defeat. Seeing that their identities were exposed, the two spoke in unison. You make it difficult for me to deal with it. Su Chen stroked his chin and said lightly, if I'll let you go, what will you do next time? We can swear an oath. The two said in unison. In the face of the crisis of life and death, they no longer care about their face. It's not impossible. But, Su Chen nodded slightly. Dao oaths are not something that anyone can make. Dao oaths are useless if they are not strong enough in the god realm. Once a strong person in the god realm makes a Dao oath, he must abide by it. If he violates it, his cultivation will be damaged at best, and he will be killed by thunder at worst. It can be said that it is a sword hanging over his head. Mr. Su, we can accept any conditions. The two spoke again. Very good. Su Chen nodded slightly and said, how about this? You two will find 10 spiritual herbs, and this matter will be over. Otherwise, Mr. Su, 10 spiritual herbs are too much. With our wealth, it is difficult to find so many spiritual herbs. Taoist Wu-Chen said bitterly. Mr. Su, can you be flexible for the sake of us not doing anything to you? Mo Shenggu also looked at Su Chen with expectation. Su Chen's eyes turned cold. Do you think I'm negotiating with you? Mo Shenggu and Taoist Wu-Chen trembled. The two quickly changed their words. Okay. Just 10. In the face of life and death, wealth is insignificant. Whether it was stolen or robbed, they had to get it. After the two swore an oath, Su Chen waved his hand and told them to go away. It was not that Su Chen was soft-hearted, but he felt that his physical strength was not enough. With his current combat power, it was okay to deal with the middle stage of the god realm. If it was to deal with the late stage of the god realm, it would be a bit insufficient. And if you want to improve your combat power again, the physical body can improve the fastest. Among the masters sent by the Liu family this time, there were more than one middle stage Shinran realm physical masters. This made Su Chen feel that his physical body still needed to be strengthened. Moreover, this was the first time that Taoist Wu-Chen and Mo Shenggu met, and there was no deep hatred between the two sides. Su Chen naturally did not want to add trouble for nothing. Su Chen calmly dealt with these masters who came to make trouble, and Yang Wudi did not make trouble, but just watched quietly. Perhaps, to a master like Yang Wudi, these ordinary masters of the god realm were like ants. What he cared more about was the improvement of his martial arts cultivation. Where are you from? Su Chen's eyes wandered over the 4 great divine realms of Jiangnan province. These 4 people were also very unfamiliar to him. Boy, we are not such spineless people. If you have the guts, fight us. Feng Horan sneered, and did not even have the slightest intention of retreating. Where are you 3? Su Chen ignored Feng Horan, and looked at the other 3. He wanted to see the answers of these 3 people. If you want to fight, then fight. Do you think you are a man, if you keep talking so much? Zheng Bi, the only woman among the 4, sneered. There was a strong mockery in her eyes. Very good. Su Chen nodded. Then, he nodded gently to Qin King Mui and Li Changfeng. The two understood and withdrew their hands. Su Chen slowly walked towards the four people. It was not that Su Chen was too arrogant, but he wanted to try out how strong he would be after his improvement. The four people in front of him were obviously good opponents. Kill. The four looked at each other and shouted together. Suddenly, four terrifying attacks all rushed towards Su Chen. Each attack was at the level of the god realm. Feng Horan of the Feng family's attack was also a mountain. However, his mountain was different from Su Chen's. It was a mountain of books piled up by countless books. Zheng Bi of the Zheng family's attack was a surging river. In the hands of this woman, the river was so powerful that it had a tendency to connect to the earth. Lin Emo of the Lin family's attack was the most peculiar. It was a peculiar fire lotus. Even Su Chen, who was proficient in the Zhuanqiu, could not help but frown slightly. He Yaokan of the He family's methods were not so fancy, but the wild bull transformed by his fist seemed to come from the ancient wilderness, and the aura was extremely terrifying. For a moment, the intentions condensed by the four masters all manifested. Even with Su Chen's strength, he had to take it seriously. After all, these are the four major families from Jiangnan province. The methods of these people are not weak. If an ordinary god realm encounters this, he may suffer a great loss if he is not careful. Divine Wolfist, suppress all paths. Su Chen whispered in his heart. Then, he slowly launched a punch. This punch was not fast. Even a child could catch it. The third update. The fourth update in 10 minutes. Chapter 842, Life or Death. Su Chen's fist intention has changed. No one noticed this. It seems slow, but it is actually fast. Just like Yang Wudi before. After several battles today, especially the long battle with Yang Wudi, Su Chen has learned a lot. For a while, the whole battlefield has become magnificent. Su Chen's fighting power is extraordinary, not to mention the new understanding. The strong men in the god realm of the four major families in Jiangnan are also not weak, and their fist intentions are unique. At this moment, the strong men in several camps can't help but hold their breath. There is a mountain that is like a huge ancient mountain that can suppress everything. The fist intentions of the strong men in the god realm of the four major families in Jiangnan province are also intertwined. The Book Mountain stretches across. The long river is surging. The fire lotus bursts. The wild bull is arrogant. The strong men in the god realm are not weak. Especially, this kind of existence that has entered the god realm for many years. The sound of reading aloud came from the Book Mountain, like an old monk chanting scriptures, which makes people with weak wills fall into it instantly. On the battlefield, the surviving Xianshan realm warriors could not help but close their eyes and recite softly, just like students following their teacher to recite a text. The endless river spans the entire world, like a starry sky in the Milky Way, and no one knows where it leads. The surging waves, the floating waves, completely suppressed the minds of many warriors. The fire lotus bloomed, and an endless heat erupted. It seemed to change the seasons, and it was impossible to distinguish between spring, summer, autumn and winter. Especially Su Chen, who was closest, was attacked by the heat wave, and sweat appeared on his body. The wild bull, full of wild breath, trampled the earth with its four hooves, and pierced the void with its horns. No one knows what the result of this battle will be. Even a strong man like Li Changfeng couldn't help but frown slightly. Compared with the people watching the battle, Su Chen was particularly calm. The fists of the four people in front of him were extremely terrifying. If it was the previous Su Chen, he really didn't have the confidence to fight for alone. But now it is different. Su Chen's Shenai fist has reached the 5th level, and the fist has been sublimated. Divine Fist, suppress all paths. The shadow of Yaodao Mountain was neither hurried nor slow. The shadow was looming, making it impossible to figure out where it would appear in the next moment. At this time, the shadow of Yaodao Mountain had already changed. Some corners were exposed, some knife marks appeared, or the entire mountain appeared in the void. Cut. It was as if an ancient decree had been heard. A blade light instantly broke through the air and slashed directly towards Shushan and Chang, splitting mountains and breaking seas. If Beilang Xiang were alive, he would definitely exclaim, this was his unique skill of splitting mountains and breaking seas. This was the blade light that was crushed and swallowed by Su Chen's shadow of Yaodao Mountain. Although it was not imitated by Beilongxiang, this blade light was not weaker than Beilongxiang's at his peak. How is it possible? Feng Horan and Zheng Bi exclaimed. The four people looked very ugly. The reason why they dared to come to Su Chen for trouble was because many powerful people in the divine realm joined forces. But they never expected that not long after the fight, the two great god realms of the Bei family fell together. Even Beilongxiang, who was in the middle stage of the god realm, could not escape this fate. Taoist Huachan and Mo Shenggu were so frightened that they chose to surrender directly. On the contrary, the god realm masters of the four major families in Jiangnan province thought that their cultivation was not weak. Even if they had heard some rumors about Su Chen, they were confident that they could suppress the other party. As a result, they never thought that Su Chen was not only powerful, but also had such a strange fist intention. Not only was it powerful and magical, but it could also devour the fist intentions of other masters. Didn't you see it? Facing the doubts of the two, Su Chen chuckled. The next second, the sword light broke through the air, with the power of splitting the sea and breaking the mountains. Swish. In an instant, the sound of reading aloud disappeared completely. Wherever the terrifying sword light passed, pieces of paper flew, and a vast mountain of books was split open. Then, the sword light continued to be unstoppable, rushing straight to the eternal and endless river. Huolala. The endless river was also cut into two sections. Puff, puff. Feng Horan and Zheng Bi both spit out blood. The backlash of the fist had a great impact on them. In an instant, the two turned pale. However, this was just the knife mark of the Yaodao Mountain Phantom. The Yaodao Mountain Phantom did not stop. It still rushed towards the other two. Seeing the huge Yaodao Mountain Phantom, Lin Mo and Yi Yaokan's scalps suddenly numbed, and a fatal crisis arose in their hearts. Before the two could react, the Yaodao Mountain Phantom seemed to break through the void and directly collided with the two people's fists. Boom. The Fire Lotus set off an endless heat wave. However, in front of this huge Yaodao Mountain Phantom, this heat wave seemed insignificant. The small Fire Lotus seemed insignificant in front of the Yaodao Mountain Phantom, and was suppressed in an instant. Compared with the immobile Fire Lotus, He Yaokan's Barbarian Bull was much more flexible, and kept rushing left and right before the Yaodao Mountain Phantom fell. What can be done? Even though He Yaokan's Bull is very flexible, it still has no effect. In front of this shadow of Yaodao Mountain that blocks out the sun in the sky, even a blue whale would not make too much waves, let alone a small bull. The result is self-evident. No matter how the bull rushed left and right, it still had no way to go up to the sky or down to the ground in front of the shadow that was like a dark cloud covering the sky. Boom. The shadow of Yaodao Mountain fell. The earth trembled slightly. The terrifying shadow of Yaodao Mountain directly pressed Huo Lion and the bull down, and they could not move an inch. The next second, Lin Mo and Yi Yaokan also followed the footsteps of Feng Horan and Zheng Bi. Ah. Puff. The two screamed and spurted out a mouthful of old blood, their faces as pale as gold paper. Silence. You can hear a pin drop. At this moment, everyone held their breath. No one thought that Su Chen's move this time would be so domineering. It can be said that he crushed the joint efforts of the four great realms with an invincible posture. Not to mention others, even Li Changfeng, the head of the Tiger Guard, couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly. Looking at Su Chen, there was a hint of surprise in his eyes. In martial arts practice, one step leads to another level. The gap in realm is difficult to make up. Even a talented person like Su Chen can hardly go against the sky in the face of the real realm gap. But now, the strong men in the middle and late stages of the divine realm were all slightly shocked. Su Chen's fist intention was too terrifying. Even they might not have the confidence to take it safely. Divine Will Fist, one punch to suppress all Dao. This is not Su Chen's blind confidence. He really did it. Moreover, it looks quite easy. Su Chen's eyes were slightly cold, and his eyes moved around the four divine realm strongmen. What now? Are you going to live or die? The fourth update is here. Good night everyone. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. we cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 843, Fight Again. He Yaoken and the other three were silent. They thought that they might not be able to kill Su Chen, but they didn't expect that the four of them would lose so badly. The four of them were all powerful in the god realm, and the four of them were not a match for Su Chen's one move. The difference in strength between the two sides was like a natural chasm. Since you don't answer, I'll choose for you. Su Chen sneered. The next moment, a golden light flashed under his feet, and he flashed to He Yaoken's side. Bang! A punch was thrown. This punch was a very ordinary punch. However, it was driven by the 9 extremes. Bang! He Yaoken was already backlashed and had no time to react. Hit by a punch, He Yaoken's body was like a tattered sack, and he fell to the ground. Brother He. The other three saw this and looked horrified. Su Chen's move was so cruel and decisive. It's your turn. As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen used the golden light of the earth again and appeared in front of Lin Emo. But a burst of mental power. Cut. A spiritual sword broke into Lin Emo's sea of consciousness. The terrifying spiritual power instantly destroyed Lin Emo's soul. Plop. Lin Emo stood there in a daze. The next second, his body softened and fell to the ground. Lin Emo's eyes were wide open, as if before he died, there was endless fear and regret. Perhaps I shouldn't pretend to be tough. Su Chen turned his head again. However, before Su Chen could make another move, plop, plop, Feng Horan and Zheng Bi fell to their knees together. There was endless panic and fear in their eyes. The four of them were not much different in strength. Lin Emo and He Yaoken were killed in seconds, so there was naturally not much difference between them and Su Chen. Mr. Su, spare my life. I know I was wrong. Please let us go. Mr. Su, we are willing to pay for our lives. Su Chen looked down at the two of them. Tell me, how much is your life worth? 10 spiritual herbs. Feng Horan's teeth were trembling slightly. I don't know whether it was fear or heartache. Haha, then you guys should just go to hell. Su Chen sneered. He raised his fist again, pretending to kill someone. No, 15. I'll give you 15 spiritual herbs. Feng Horan's eyes were horrified, and even his voice became much sharper. Not enough. Su Chen shook his head slowly. Now, he has a great demand for spiritual herbs. The more the better. 20. Mr. Su, I can get at most 20 spiritual herbs. Feng Horan begged. This was already his limit. Okay, but I don't want to see the situation of making up the numbers. Su Chen's face was grim. You swear an oath and send the spiritual herbs to me in 3 days. Cheng's villa in the provincial capital. After Feng Horan swore an oath, Su Chen turned his eyes to Zheng Bi and said, what about you? Zheng Bi looked like she was only in her early 30s. In fact, she had already entered her 60s. It was only because of her profound cultivation that she could be a middle-aged woman. At this time, Zheng Bi couldn't help but sweat when she touched Su Chen's sharp eyes. Su Chen, this guy, really dares to kill. Moreover, he acted decisively without any hesitation. The corpse of the previous lesson is not even cold yet. I will also give 20 spiritual herbs. However, I need half a month. Zheng Bi did not hesitate. Oh. Su Chen raised his eyebrows slightly. His face turned cold, and he said coldly, do you think that I, Su Chen, dare not kill a woman? You can kill me, but if you kill me, you will get nothing. Although Zheng Bi was decisive, she was quite calm. Su Chen was silent for a while and asked, why does it take half a month? Give me a reason to let you go. My property has been hidden by my brother and sister-in-law. I need some time. Zheng Bi's eyes revealed a little bitterness. Swear. Su Chen nodded. This reason is actually reasonable, and he didn't doubt it. After Feng Horan and Zheng Bi left, there were not many masters in Kingsang Mountain, and Su Chen's opponent was once again only Yang Wudi. It's my turn now. Yang Wudi stepped forward, his eyes filled with endless fighting spirit. The burning fighting spirit made him soar. Thank you for just now. Su Chen clasped his fists. He took a step back and said politely, Mr. Yang, you go first this time. It's not that Su Chen was humble, but Yang Wudi's approach won his approval. The two sides were originally enemies who would never stop fighting. In such a situation, no matter what Yang Wudi chose, Su Chen would not be surprised. However, Yang Wudi did not take advantage of the situation, and even took the initiative to stop Su Chen when the 4 strong men of Jiangnan province attacked. This man is an upright gentleman. I'm not helping you. Yang Wudi's voice was slightly indifferent. Although he helped Su Chen, he didn't want Su Chen to hold back because of this. I know. Su Chen nodded. He also understood Yang Wudi's thoughts. Looking for a soulmate in the mountains and rivers. It's hard to find an opponent. For a strong man like Yang Wudi, it is difficult to find an opponent stronger than him. What's more, he has to be at the same realm as him. Yang Wudi has been fighting all the way, and he has stepped on other warriors in each realm. Mingjin, Anjin, Zuanjin, Xianshan realm, Shen realm. In each realm, although the opponents he encountered became stronger and stronger, there were still few people who could fight him head on. In the Zuanjin stage, there were still warriors like Liu Yuantang who relied on his skills or other advantages to stalemate with Yang Wudi for a while. But after Yang Wudi stepped into the Xianshan and Shen realms and his invincible fighting spirit was condensed, there were almost no strong enemies of the same level. Most opponents were defeated in one move. Therefore, opponents like Su Chen are too rare. Invincible Divine Fist. Yang Wudi shouted. The speed of this punch was still very slow. It was still the same fighting rhythm as before. If it was the previous Su Chen, he would definitely be on guard at this time. He might even have attacked with all his strength to resist the overwhelming blow. But Su Chen has improved. The changes in the virtual shadow of Yaodao Mountain and the 5th level of Shenai Fist, which is virtuality and reality from the heart, have made him stronger. Shenai Fist. Su Chen also whispered. His punch was not fast, but it was in the same rhythm as Yang Wudi's. Many years ago, Yang Wudi's invincible Divine Fist and Divine Will Fist clashed. It was Yang Wudi in the Zuanjin period and Liu Yuantang, who was also practicing Divine Will Fist. Today, the invincible Divine Fist and Divine Will Fist collided again. However, Yang Wudi's opponent has been replaced by Su Chen, a rising star. Boom. The two fought with great momentum. In the Kingston courtyard, the faces of the Liu family were extremely ugly. First update. Chapter 844. The Liu family breaks the formation. Boom. Yang Wudi punched out. The spherical fist grew from small to large, and finally became a small world. The terrifying world will crushed everything. Su Chen's divine fist burst out in an instant. A mountain phantom slowly appeared. From a corner, the whole picture was slowly revealed. The knife mark was still on the back of the mountain. Su Chen and Yang Wudi were both the strongest. Boom. The terrifying collision made the entire Kingsong mountain tremble slightly. Even the Kingston courtyard in the formation was affected. Damn it, damn it. How could this little thief Su Chen be so powerful? In the courtyard, Liu Yuanwu's face was full of irritation and shock. A few days ago, he had fought with Su Chen. At that time, although Su Chen was not weak, he was still slightly behind him. If Cheng Xianzhen hadn't taken action, he might have taken him down. But now, he and others are still trapped in the formation, and the strength of the little thief Su Chen has increased again. Could it be that he will return empty-handed again this time? Arsehole. Liu Yuanwu was so angry that he cursed and punched wildly. Ripples appeared on the formation. The other Liu family masters also had gloomy faces and kept attacking. They hoped to find the center of the formation. The 7th level formation is comparable to the strong men in the Return to One realm. If the center of the formation is not found, it is indeed difficult to crack. But if the center of the formation is found, the 7th level formation is not an unsolvable problem. If Yan Maohe was in the Kingston courtyard, with his attainments as a half-step 6th level formation master, he might be able to find the floor quickly. Unfortunately, even though Yan Maohe had a very high level of formation cultivation, he was first injured by Su Chen and then dragged by Cheng Xianzhen's extremely cold glass cover. Fortunately, in addition to Yan Maohe, the formation master, the Liu family brought a formation master who had just entered the 5th level in the team this time. Although this formation master could not find the center of the formation quickly and break the formation independently like Yan Maohe, he could instruct the Liu family masters to attack the formation and cause fluctuations in the formation. At this time, he could trace the traces and calculate the position of the array's eye. Soon, the eyes of this 5th level array master lit up. "Young Master Liu, we found the array's eye." As he spoke, he waved the array flag to fix the array's eye. Everyone was instantly overjoyed. Liu Shaoan immediately ordered, "Quick, attack the array's eye together." Suddenly, the Liu family masters bombarded together. The Kingston courtyard array shook instantly. The array shook. This array was left by the senior masters of Kingsong Temple. Although the level is not lower than the 7th level array, its power has been reduced over the years. In addition, Su Chen activated it hastily and did not activate it completely. Because of this, it was so easy for this array master to find the array's eye. Now, the array's eye has appeared. Everyone in the Liu family finally saw the dawn of escape. Boom. Boom. In the Kingston courtyard, there were loud noises. The Liu family's strong men frantically attacked the array's eye, trying to break out of the array. Su Chen was in the middle of a fierce battle and had no time to care about Kingston courtyard. Facing a strong man like Yang Wudi, even if his fist power was sublimated, he could not be careless. If he was not careful, he might be doomed. However, Cheng Shai and Simon Zhang Taiyan noticed the movement in Kingston courtyard. Their faces changed instantly. The formation of Kingston courtyard was the basis for Su Chen to fight with peace of mind. If the 7th level formation was broken, the situation might be reversed again. The two looked at each other and attacked together to reinforce the 7th level formation. Now, they could only think of ways to delay the time for the Liu family strongmen to break the formation. Time passed slowly. Now, it depends on who can take advantage of time. If Su Chen defeats Yang Wudi, everything will be solved naturally. If Su Chen loses to Yang Wudi, the consequences will be unpredictable. God knows whether Yang Wudi will avenge his close disciple and brother. Even if Yang Wudi is a true gentleman, he may not be able to really let go of this kind of life and death hatred. Kill. Su Chen roared. The divine fist bombarded again and again. There was a shadow of a mountain. Sometimes the whole picture could be seen. Sometimes the tip of the iceberg was revealed. Compared with Su Chen, Yang Wudi was more silent. But this did not mean that Yang Wudi's attack was weak. He did not care about the terrifying momentum, but he could respond to all changes with the same attitude. The fist intention of the invincible divine fist could still crush all fist intentions. Bang! With a crisp sound, Su Chen's face changed slightly. He turned his head and saw that the two trees at the gate of Kingston courtyard were shattered into powder. No, the formation is about to break. Or thought flashed through Su Chen's mind. He was familiar with the formation diagram and knew the importance of these two trees to the formation. But at this time, he was delayed by Yang Wudi. Cheng Shai and Simon Zhang Taiyan obviously could not stop him. Quick, work harder. In Kingston courtyard, the 5th level formation master noticed the change in the formation and urged others to take action again. This time, the Liu family had a full 2-digit divine realm powerhouse to take action. There were even 2 mid-stage heaven realm physical warriors. Quantitative change leads to qualitative change. With such a large battle, not to mention a 7th level formation, even an 8th level defensive formation could be broken. Seeing this, the other Liu family warriors naturally attacked without hesitation. The attacks from the early and middle stages of the divine realm seemed to be free, like a rainstorm. The trembling of the formation became more and more obvious. Seeing that the 7th level formation of Kingston courtyard was about to collapse, Su Chen frowned slightly. If it was just Yang Wudi, he could still deal with it. But the Liu family's divine realm warriors would never abide by the rules of the martial arts world and wait patiently for themselves to decide the winner with Yang Wudi. Yang Wudi noticed Su Chen's abnormality. His eyes turned cold. Boy, you dare to be distracted when fighting with me? Immediately, he suddenly attacked. One fist after another attacked Su Chen like a storm. This series of attacks caught Su Chen off guard. Su Chen was shocked and retreated again and again. The shadow of Yaodao Mountain shattered again and again. In the previous battle, the fist of Yaodao Mountain shattered again and again. However, it also made Su Chen realize Yang Wudi's all-consuming momentum. But now, the shadow of Yaodao Mountain has become perfect. Now, the fist of Yaodao Mountain shattered again and again. This time, it was Su Chen's real loss. Thump thump thump. Su Chen retreated step by step, his face becoming paler and paler. Second update. Chapter 845. Intervention again. Yang Wudi's attack is very strong. Even if it is said that his cultivation is only in the early stage of the god realm. But his invincible fighting spirit is too strong, and he is determined to die in every battle. This kind of person is definitely a madman in the martial arts. As the saying goes, when it rains, it pours. If it was just Yang Wudi, Su Chen could still deal with it. But at this moment, boom. A loud bang exploded. The Kingston courtyard formation exploded instantly. The figures of the Liu family members appeared. Their faces were full of anger and resentment. Su Chen's heart sank slightly. Now, his condition is not good, and the Liu family's strong men broke out of the formation again. Su Chen, die. With a roar, a figure rushed straight to Su Chen. This person was the extremely angry Liu Yuanwu. He was already furious. Compared with other Liu family members, Liu Yuanwu was the most aggrieved. He was beaten back once in the Cheng family villa. Today, he was trapped in the formation for a long time by Su Chen's design. Get out. Su Chen snorted coldly. The next second, he raised his hand and punched out. A shadow of a mountain revealed the tip of an iceberg, and the terrifying fist intent filled the air. Ah. Liu Yuanwu staggered, his face full of horror. In an instant, he seemed to see an endless sea of blood and corpses. Or a wild beast, or a fierce demon. At this moment, Liu Yuanwu couldn't help but have an idea in his mind. That is, Su Chen is invincible, and if he is against him, he will definitely die. This is not because Liu Yuanwu is weak. It's because a physical training expert like him has not focused on improving his mental strength. Under the impact of Su Chen's terrifying fist intent, Liu Yuanwu was instantly frightened. The whole person's eyes were dull, and he looked at Su Chen's punch. Boom. The violent fist intent, carrying huge power, hit Liu Yuanwu hard. Puff. Liu Yuanwu spurted out a mouthful of blood, and the whole person was thrown out. Now, Su Chen's fist intent is no longer the same as before, and it has been sublimated. More importantly, the invincible heart. This is something that countless warriors cannot have in their entire lives. Even, there may not be one in many generations. Like the first person in the art of formation, the first person in martial arts, the first person in the physical body. These identities will always appear every few decades. For example, Yan Maohe, he once overpowered the previous generation of Xianqi and became the first person in the art of formation decades ago, overpowering the previous generation of Xianqi. Of course, this reputation is seriously diluted. After all, when the two fought, Yan Maohe used the magic weapon of the art of formation, while the old Xianqi responded with bare hands. If we talk about the art of formation, Yan Maohe is not as good as the old Xianqi, but the old man is indifferent to fame and fortune and is too lazy to explain. But no matter what, Yan Maohe once became the first person in the art of formation. However, the first person in the art of formation today has become Zhang Tian. It also earned back the face for Xianqi Mountain. Therefore, it is not uncommon to be the first person. But the real invincible heart is extremely rare. First, there was the first emperor, Yingzheng, who swept across the 6 kingdoms and unified the world. Later, there was the king of Chu, Xiangyu, who was powerful enough to pull mountains and was invincible. Ancestors like them are extremely rare in history, and invincible people who can have a good ending are even rarer. Su Chen can forge an invincible heart because of the powerful opponent Yang Wudi. Yang Wudi, the name of the invincible divine fist, has long been widely circulated in Dongzhou province. There is no one in the same realm who dares to compete with him. Because of the battle with Yang Wudi, Su Chen forged an invincible heart, which made his fist intention further sublimated. At this time, Su Chen suddenly punched. If the opponent is determined and strong in spirit, he may be able to resist. But for Liu Yuanwu, who is like a frightened bird, it is completely different. Sure enough, under the fear of his mind, Liu Yuanwu did not have time to resist at all, and he was hit by Su Chen. It was that Liu Yuanwu's physical body was strong, otherwise he would probably die. Waste. Liu Shaoan snorted coldly. There was no respect for Liu Yuanwu, a powerful divine realm master of his uncle's generation. The other Liu family masters did not care about it. Liu Shaoan has a very high status in the Liu family. Even the strong men in the god realm are mostly submissive when facing him. Young master Liu, let me give it a try. A strong man in the god realm of the Liu family spoke. After being trapped for so long, this person has been full of anger. Go. Liu Shaoan nodded slightly. Together with other strong men, he still stood in front of the ruined courtyard, staring coldly at the battlefield. It's not that Liu Shaoan doesn't want to annihilate Su Chen. It's just that, if he takes action now, it would be a bit embarrassing. The best opportunity has been missed. If Li Changfeng and Qin Qingmei didn't show up, the Liu family could still use personal grudges as an excuse to kill first and then report. But now, Li Changfeng and Qin Qingmei have appeared. More importantly, Li Changfeng is actually in the late god realm, which makes the Liu family very wary. In front of Li Changfeng, the chief of the Tiger Guard, to kill the advisor of the Tiger Guard, you can only ask Li Changfeng if he agrees. Because of this, even if the Liu family has an advantage in numbers, Liu Shaoan dare not act rashly. Li Changfeng, a late-stage god, Chen Qiai, the first Fengshu family in Shangjing, and Zhang Tian, the contemporary god of Xianqi Mountain. Such a scene is also a great pressure on the Liu family. Su Chen, give me your life. The Liu family god level strongman roared, and then rushed to Su Chen. This person's whole body was full of vitality. He was actually a middle stage god level strongman. Su Chen was about to make a move. Suddenly, a loud shout rang out from his ear. Get out. Su Chen was startled. Turning his head, it turned out to be Yang Wudi. Yang Wudi was in a very irritable mood. He was enjoying the battle with Su Chen, but such an ignorant person popped up. Yang Wudi threw a punch and hit the Liu family god level strongman directly. Asshole. Looking for death. The Liu family strongman had a ferocious face. He was still a little afraid of Su Chen. But he didn't know the Yang Wudi in front of him at all. In his opinion, he was just an enemy of Su Chen. How dare he yell at him? The Liu family warrior did not retreat but advanced. His heart was burning with anger, and his violent vitality was even more powerful. In an instant, the vitality condensed into a Fang Shanhua Ji, stabbing straight down. The terrifying Fang Shanhua Ji was sharp, like an invincible overlord. However, facing this extremely terrifying attack, Yang Wudi did not just throw a punch casually. The face of the Liu family mid-stage god realm warrior changed drastically in an instant. The third update is here. The update is over. Good night, everyone. Thank you for your support. Chapter 846 Yang Wudi retreats. The Fang Shanhua Ji of the Liu family strongman is indeed terrifying. If an ordinary strongman encounters it, even if his mind is not shocked, he will be severely injured. However, he doesn't know who the man who attacked him at this time is. This is the famous Yang Wudi in Dongsao province. The divine fist is invincible Yang Wudi. In terms of vitality cultivation, Yang Wudi is only in the early stage of the divine realm. But in terms of fist intention, he is second in Dongsao province, and no one dares to claim to be the first. Not to mention ordinary divine realm strongman, even Li Changfeng, who is in the late stage of the divine realm, dare not say that he can suppress Yang Wudi in fist intention. Invincible fist intention is a belief, a self-recognition, and also an extremely strong will. This has little to do with one's own cultivation. If Yang Wudi has not yet broken into the divine realm, perhaps the Liu family strongman can rely on the absolute realm gap to threaten him. It's a pity the invincible divine fist has entered the divine realm. At this moment, Yang Wudi is an invincible god. In front of his invincible fist, ordinary god realm warriors are all ants, and can only bow down and worship. Boom. The fists of the Liu family warriors and Yang Wudi collided. The Fang Shanhua Ji, which seemed invincible, encountered the invincible fist that was like a planet. In just a moment, crack. The Fang Shanhua Ji was full of cracks. The next second, bang. Under the crushing of Yang Wudi's fist, the Fang Shanhua Ji actually broke directly. Yang Wudi punched fiercely and hit the Liu family god realm warrior hard. Puff. The fist backfired. The Liu family warrior spurted out a mouthful of blood. He stared at Yang Wudi, his eyes full of horror. He was a strong man in the middle stage of the god realm. As a result, he was severely injured by a punch from Yang Wudi, who was in the early stage of the god realm. The warriors in Shangjing have always been arrogant, and most of them crush the warriors from other places at the same level. He came from Shangjing and never took the strong men in Nangzhou province seriously. What's more, Yang Wudi is in the early stage of the god realm. As a result, he was severely slapped in the face. Yang Wudi casually punched him and injured him directly, which made him both angry and shocked. Asshole. The Liu family's mid-stage god realm strongman couldn't hold his face. He gritted his teeth and wanted to rush forward again to save face. At this time, Liu Shaoan suddenly said, "Stop." The Liu family strongman suddenly stopped and looked at Liu Shaoan. Liu Shaoan ignored him at all, but turned his head to stare at Yang Wudi. His eyes have always been vicious and can see a lot of things. Liu Shaoan knew in his heart that, even if this mid-stage god realm strongman took action again, it would probably be humiliating to face Yang Wudi. If not handled properly, it would also add enemies to the Liu family. Liu Shaoan thought about it. He clasped his hands and said, "My friend, Su Chen and the Liu family have some personal grievances. Please make way." Yang Wudi frowned slightly, and he was a little hesitant. It is difficult to find an opponent like Su Chen in the entire Dangzhou province. If you miss it, in the future. But when Yang Wudi heard about the Shangjing Liu family, he couldn't help but be slightly surprised. This is a real Shangjing noble, different from ordinary warriors. Yang Wudi has an unparalleled fighting spirit and an invincible heart, but he is not a fool who fights without submission. Even though he challenged others before, it was mostly martial arts exchanges. He would stop after defeating the enemy and rarely killed them all. Yang Wudi knew it very well. If he really had a grudge with the Shangjing Liu family, the other party would not talk to him about fair fighting. Moreover, if he and Su Chen both suffered losses, there was a high probability that the Liu family would take advantage of him in the end. By then, even if Su Chen was killed, Yang Wudi would not be happy at all. Thinking of this, Yang Wudi immediately had an idea. His eyes were cold as he looked at Su Chen. "HMPH. You are such a troublemaker. I'm having a fight with you, and a bunch of people come to interfere. It's really unpleasant. Boy, you'd better stay alive. When you become a Yuan-Qi martial god, I'll come and kill you." Su Chen nodded calmly. "Okay, I'll wait for you." If Yang Wudi retreated at this time, it would be good news for him. "Thank you, sir." Liu Shaoan bowed slightly. "Goodbye." Yang Wudi snorted coldly. He came with great momentum, but left quietly. For him, this battle with Su Chen was also a big gain. As Yang Wudi retreated, the mid-stage god realm powerhouse of the Liu family who had just taken action stood up again. Killing intent burst out in his eyes. "Su Chen, come and die. You are not worthy." Su Chen shouted coldly. He didn't waste any words and raised his hand to punch. Before, Su Chen needed to distract himself from fighting Yang Wudi. At this moment, Yang Wudi retreated, and Su Chen's pressure was reduced, and he could fight the Liu family's strong man with all his heart. Su Chen punched out. In an instant, the situation changed. The mental power and vitality condensed, and Yao Dao Mountain appeared in an instant. It covered the sky and crushed the void. This is the full picture of Yao Dao Mountain's fist after sublimation, and the momentum is extremely amazing. Originally, Su Chen's combat power was strong, and he did not show any signs of decline when fighting against the middle stage of the god realm. What's more, now the god will fist has been further sublimated. This punch, wrapped with an invincible fighting spirit, it seemed like a rolling momentum crushing and suppressing everything. Although Su Chen's vitality realm has not yet broken through the god realm, but he is the spiritual master of the yin-yang spirit god, and his mental power is endless. Because of this, Su Chen's fist can exert a power far beyond his actual realm. This is thanks to Yang Wudi. Without his invincible fist tempering, Su Chen's fist, although terrible, still cannot crush everything. In an instant, the terrifying phantom of Yao Dao Mountain, carrying a monstrous power, crushed over. The Liu family's strong man was full of horror, and his mind was directly shocked. He barely raised his hand and forcibly resisted Su Chen's attack. Boom. The Liu family's strong man in the middle stage of the divine realm was directly shaken away. Thump thump thump. He staggered and was quite embarrassed. Being injured by Yang Wudi and Su Chen in succession, his blood was surging, and he almost vomited blood again. Looking at Su Chen again, he took 2 steps back, but his face was still calm. This kid can't stay. Almost at the same moment, many Liu family's divine realm strongmen had this thought in their minds. Su Chen, this guy, is improving too fast. They were sealed in front of the Kingston courtyard by the formation, and Su Chen was not so powerful. In just a short while, this guy has made such great progress. The Liu family and Su Chen have a deep hatred, and they are also Liu family's divine realm strongmen. If Su Chen is allowed to grow, I'm afraid. Thinking of the consequences, many powerful gods felt a chill down their spines, and their murderous intent became stronger. Chapter 847. Everyone comes out. Kill. The Liu family warrior roared and attacked Su Chen again. At this time, other Liu family gods also attacked. It seems that they want to completely kill Su Chen by surrounding and killing him. How dare you? Cheng Xianxin and Zhang Taiyan's faces sank, and they hurriedly stopped the Liu family warriors. You two, you should stay here. Yu Zhenbei's voice came with a hint of coldness. Although Zhu Guodong and Old Yan did not speak, their offensive was more fierce than before, and their purpose was self-evident. Haha. Do you think I, Li, am a clay puppet? Li Changfeng sneered. He flashed and joined the battlefield. Captain Li, this is a grudge between the Liu family and Su Chen. Please show mercy, Captain Li. Liu Shaoan said. Li Changfeng smiled coldly. Haha. Su Chen is the advisor of the Tiger Guards. If he has any problems, I, Li, will take responsibility. Stubborn. Liu Shaoan's face changed, and he snorted coldly. Li Changfeng, do you really think that my Liu family is afraid of you? As he spoke, Liu Shaoan looked at the 5th level formation master who had just broken the formation. Master Yu, please delay Li Changfeng for a while. Master Yu laughed. Don't worry, Master Liu, if I take action, I may not be Li Changfeng who takes action. If it's just to delay him, there is naturally no problem. The dragon trapping formation, start. Before he finished speaking, Master Yu held the compass in one hand and arranged the formation with the other hand. In an instant, a formation appeared. Looking closely, the formation was like a bottomless abyss. Dragon Abyss. This is a formation that is said to be able to trap a divine dragon. Its power is naturally not bad, and it has reached the 6th level. This is. On the side, Su Chen's pupils shrank. Unexpectedly, this inconspicuous Master Yu could actually set up a 6th level formation. But at this time, even if he wanted to help, he couldn't do it. Because Su Chen was surrounded by 4 Liu family mid-level God Realm Masters. One was the previous mid-level Heaven Realm Master, one was a swordsman Cuiu, and there was a spiritual master. In addition to these 3 people, there was another person. It was Liu Yuanwu, a mid-level Heaven Realm Master who was already scared and could only fight with the wind. Such a battle, even in the late stage of the God Realm, must be handled with caution. A Yuanqi martial god, a spiritual master, and 2 Heaven Realm physical masters. Speaking of it, it is already an all-round suppression of Su Chen. Moreover, these people are all in the middle stage of the God Realm. Swish. The moment Su Chen distracted his attention and looked at Li Changfeng, a terrifying sword light came. It was Cuiu's one sword light chills 19 continents. Puff. Su Chen quickly came back to his senses, flashed his feet, and avoided this fatal weakness. However, Cuiu's sword energy was fierce. Even Su Chen's Shinran Realm physical defense was scratched. Su Chen, don't worry about me. Li Changfeng's voice came. At this time, his eyes also became solemn. As the chief of the Tiger Capture Guard of Dongzhou province, Li Changfeng's strength is not weak. Even if he is still injured, he can still exert at least the strength of the middle stage of the divine realm. And today, when facing the owner of Jinglin Mountain Villa, Li Changfeng even burst out the strength of the late divine realm and blocked the opponent. Therefore, Su Chen is relieved about Li Changfeng. At least the Liu family should not be able to do anything to him. Seeing that Cheng Xiansun, Zhang Taiyan and Li Changfeng were all stopped, Liu Shaoan showed a proud look on his face. He waved his hand fiercely, all together, fight quickly and kill Su Chen. Whatever happens, I will take care of it. Suddenly, swish swish swish. In addition to the 4 mid-stage Divine Realm Masters, other Liu family Divine Realm Masters also surrounded Su Chen. For a time, Su Chen became the most dangerous person. Assholes. This is Dongzhou province. You can't be so arrogant. Qin Qingma's pretty face was frosty. She flashed out and stopped the Liu family. I'm going to fight too, Meng Diqiu shouted. Even though he was feeling weak, he had to bite the bullet and fight at this moment. I can still fight again. Zhang Longhu stood up slowly. Even though his arms were broken, he stood up. What a Liu family. You are so reckless. Do you really think you can cover the sky with one hand? A voice came, and even Zhang Jinqiu couldn't hide it. Me. And me. Whoever bullies Chen, I will beat him. At this time, a weak voice came. It was Cheng family, Cheng Yuheng. Before, she had been staying in the Taoist temple, and I don't know when she ran over. At this moment, the strong men in Su Chen's camp all stood up. One by one, like a copper wall made of flesh and blood, blocking other Liu family strong men. Seeing so many strong men blocking, the Liu family strong men also felt a little annoyed. Most of these people have complicated backgrounds. Tie them up and focus on Su Chen. Liu Shaoan gave the order. For a moment, all the Liu family warriors obeyed the order. Facing the warriors on Su Chen's side, they chose to fight in a guerrilla battle and did not dare to kill them. Even so, the warriors in Su Chen's camp were still no match for the other side. After all, the warriors in the Liu family camp were too powerful. Originally, Li Changfeng, the chief guard, could suppress everything. But at this moment, he had been temporarily trapped by Master Yu's dragon trapping formation. As for the others, Qin Qingmei and Meng Diqiu were only in the early stage of the god realm. Zhang Longhu was not weak, but without his arms, he had little combat power left. Cheng Yuheng was indeed extraordinary, but now, she was just a girl who didn't know much about the world. Perhaps, she even forgot how to attack. Although the treatment saved her life, it also caused her to lose many years of memory. In this case, it was good enough that she didn't scream for help. Damn it. Su Chen's face was slightly gloomy. Although he used a strategy to divide and attack other enemies, the biggest enemy of this trip is still the powerful Liu family. The Liu family has a powerful Linup, and it is still difficult to deal with them if they attack again. Yao Daoshan, suppress Wan Dao for me. Su Chen shouted angrily, and the huge phantom suppressed it fiercely. Brother Zhao, Brother Liu, please take action. The middle-aged swordsman Cui's face condensed, and he spoke suddenly. Brother Cui, don't worry, with Zhao Desu here, I can't hurt you. The middle-aged man of the Liu family in the middle stage of the Shinran realm flashed and blocked the front. Had golden body, immortal. With a roar, he was shining with golden light. At the same time, Liu Yuanwu stood behind him, with silver light flowing on his body, and also opened his defense. Second update. Chapter 848 Use that move. The golden and silver lights shined against each other. The two mid-stage heavenly man realm warriors, like gods of war, stood in front of Cuiu and the spiritual master. The two physical warriors were perfect for blocking Su Chen's attack. A hint of coldness appeared in Su Chen's eyes. Fight. He frantically urged his spiritual power. Suddenly, the phantom of Yao Dao Mountain became even bigger. The phantom of Yao Dao Mountain today is no longer comparable to the past. Especially after the sublimation, the might is more terrifying than before. The fighting spirit contained in it is even more frightening. And this is the floor of the flesh god realm warriors. Wen Liang, when are you going to come out now? Zhao Desu, a middle-aged man in the heavenly man realm, shouted at the spiritual master. At this time, the spiritual master, who had been protected by three people, had a strange light in his eyes. This man was called Wen Liang, and he was the only spiritual master among the four. He was extraordinary, and had reached the mid-stage strength of the god realm. SYNOPSIS. Wen Liang whispered. The next second, a terrifying spiritual force burst out from his sea of consciousness, rushing straight towards Su Chen. In an instant, Su Chen's Niwen Palace was hit by a wave of spiritual shock. His fist intention also stagnated. Seeing this, the opponent immediately joined forces. The 4 mid-stage masters of the divine realm joined forces to put Su Chen in extreme danger. At this moment, whether it was vitality, spiritual power, or physical strength, Su Chen was at a disadvantage. Suiyu sword intention was very domineering. Su Chen could only use the knife mark on Yaodao Mountain to block it for a moment. Moreover, Suiyu sword intention contained spiritual attacks. Even though Su Chen had broken through to the spiritual master, it was not easy to resist. What's more, there was a Wenliang next to him to help. Senluo was performed, and Su Chen felt a dull pain in his brow. Wangxiang. Wenliang's voice rang again. The spiritual power that pierced Su Chen's sea of consciousness suddenly changed. In Su Chen's sea of consciousness, it was like a group of demons dancing wildly. 2 swords together to eliminate the eternal sorrow. Suiyu sword art sound came again. 2 terrifying sword intentions, with endless sadness, slashed towards Su Chen. Broken Star. At this moment, Zhao Desu attacked at the same time. He not only opened his defense to block Yao Daoshan's suppression, but also forcibly punched out Shinyuan's attack. Su Chen, die. Liu Yuanwu shouted. Facing Su Chen, he was determined to kill him and crush his inner demon. Therefore, this punch was more powerful. In an instant, Su Chen fell into an absolute crisis. Such a terrifying attack was not something that ordinary people could stop. At this time, a delicate shout came. Bad guys, you dare to hit Chen Chen, you are all bad guys. Chen Yuheng actually rushed out. That beautiful little face was full of grievances. She trotted all the way. It seemed that she was going to enter the battlefield and punch and kick the 4 great realms. Girl, don't go, come back quickly. The young Taoist priest Kingsu panted and said, Master, the girl has been found. As soon as the young Taoist priest Kingsu finished speaking, a skinny figure also came to the courtyard at the same time. It was not someone else, but the old Taoist priest who was cured by Su Chen. Seeing the battle in the field, the old Taoist priest's face was slightly condensed. He thought that the matter was over, but he didn't expect that the matter would get bigger and bigger. Master, please help, the layman is in danger. The young Taoist priest Kingsu was full of anxiety. Su Chen was their savior. Fool. The old Taoist priest sighed softly. He flicked the whisk in his hand slightly, raised one hand, and shouted loudly, Wulian Xianzhen. As soon as the voice fell, a majestic mental force rushed to the battlefield. It came directly to Su Chen's sea of consciousness and resisted the power of Wangxiang. At this moment, old Taoist Kingsun, do you dare to be an enemy of the Liu family? An angry shout came from Liu Shaoan who had been commanding the battle. Wulian Xianzhen, the young master is obsessed. The old Taoist said, misfortunes sent by heaven can be forgiven, misfortunes brought by oneself cannot be forgiven. Although the young master is not an ordinary person, he must know that the world is vast, and good and evil will be rewarded in the end. After saying that, he continued to swing the whisk in his hand. This time, it was not an attack, but it went straight to Su Chen's sea of consciousness. It was a secret technique of Taoism to calm down and concentrate, which was most suitable for spiritual immortals who were injured in the battle. The next moment, Su Chen escaped from the terrifying 10,000 things. He quickly flashed and dodged several people's joined hands. Seeing Chen Yuheng jogging over, Su Chen's face changed. There was a flash of golden light under his feet, and he used the golden light to come to Chen Yuheng. Su Chen gently embraced Chen Yuheng, held her in his arms, and sent her out of the battlefield. Be good, stay here and don't move. I'll play with you after I finish fighting. Su Chen touched Chen Yuheng's little nose, just like coaxing a child. Then you have to come back soon. Chen Yuheng pouted. The cute look, coupled with the beautiful face, made Su Chen feel a little moved. Okay. Su Chen smiled and nodded. He looked at the Taoist Kingsuan and bowed. Thank you for your help. Please take care of her for me. The Taoist nodded with a smile. Don't worry, the layman. Although I'm not strong enough, I should have no problem protecting the female layman. Thank you. Su Chen nodded. The next second, A golden light flashed under his feet, and he entered the battlefield again. Su Chen looked at the four powerful gods of the Liu family with cold eyes. To be honest, facing such a lineup, Su Chen is also difficult to resist. Generally, the enemies Su Chen faces always have weaknesses in their physical body, vitality, and mental strength. The more comprehensive Su Chen can defeat his opponent according to his opponent's weaknesses. However, the four people in front of him complement each other. This kind of 3-in-1 formation is simply not something that a strong man of the same level can resist. Even if they are one realm higher, it is hard to say whether they can resist such a lineup. Su Chen is a strong man in the physical body of the heavenly man realm, but the opponent has two strong men in the physical body of the heavenly man realm. Moreover, the two are in the middle stage, one attack and one defense, and they cooperate well. Su Chen is a spiritual immortal master, but the opponent's camp also has a spiritual immortal master. Moreover, this person is a spiritual immortal master in the middle stage of the divine realm, and his means are not weak. Su Chen is only an innate warrior, while the opponent has a swordsman in the middle stage of the divine realm. Moreover, Sui's sword moves contain terrifying mental attacks, which makes things worse. It's not that Su Chen is not strong, but that the opponent's lineup is too exaggerated. Even against a strong man in the late stage of the divine realm, it's almost the same. In such a situation, Su Chen gritted his teeth and made a decision in his heart. Grandpa, I can only use that move. The third update is here. The update is over. Good night everyone. Chapter 849. Harmony between heaven and man. Grandpa, it seems that I have to use it. Su Chen whispered in his heart. His eyes became extremely solemn. The battle with the Liu family has reached the most critical moment. Although Su Chen used the Kingston courtyard formation to divide the enemy and attack them, while the Liu family was trapped, he solved powerful enemies such as Jinglin Villa, the Bei family of Dongzhou province, and the four major families of Jiangnan province. He even had a big battle with the invincible Yang Wudi. After these battles, although Su Chen has improved, he has also suffered huge losses. Now, facing the joint siege of the four mid-stage gods of the Liu family, he began to be unable to cope with it. Therefore, Su Chen can only choose to use that trick to change the crisis. Before Su Chen left the mountain village, his grandfather had taught him a mysterious formula. Chenna, this mantra is very important. I didn't teach it to you before, because I was afraid that you were too curious and might cause trouble. But this time, when you go down the mountain, I will allow you to use it. But remember, you must not use it unless your life is in danger. As for why it cannot be used, Grandpa did not explain in detail. But thinking of Grandpa's solemn eyes, Su Chen was a little hesitant. At this moment, Zhou Wanqiu, Liu family spiritual master Wen Liang made another move. It was still the same trick as before, and they used it together. 3 swords to kill the gods and ascend to the sky. The middle-aged swordsman Suiyu made another move. As soon as the voice fell, he seemed to have become the supreme god king who was ruthless and heartless. The two of them looked very fierce, and they wanted to kill Su Chen as soon as possible. At this moment, Su Chen no longer cared about Grandpa's instructions. Now, for him, it was a matter of life and death. Su Chen's figure flashed, and he formed a complex seal in his hand, chanting the formula. The Tao that can be spoken is not the real Tao. The name that can be named is not the real name. Namelessness is the beginning of heaven and earth, and name is the mother of all things. Therefore, always be without desire to observe its wonders, and always have desire to observe its boundaries. These two, with the same origin but different names, are both called mysterious, and the more mysterious, the door to all wonders. Outside the battlefield, Taoist King Sun was confused when he saw this. He didn't understand why Su Chen suddenly started to recite 3,000 words of Taoism. Zhang Tian, the contemporary Taoist master, also looked back with a look of surprise. The other strong men in Su Chen's camp also stared at each other. On the contrary, the strong men of the Liu family were already on high alert at this time. They didn't know what Su Chen was up to. Could it be that he was deliberately making a mystery? Su Chen ignored everyone and continued to mutter softly. In fact, nothing mysterious would happen when reciting 3,000 words of Taoism. Otherwise, the world would be in chaos. But all this is not suitable for Su Chen. He did recite the 3000 words of Taoism, but this was just a prelude. Every syllable of Su Chen was very clear. Every word could be heard clearly by everyone. But they still didn't understand why Su Chen did this. However, everyone slowly noticed. As Su Chen recited, his eyes gradually changed, and he felt as if he had merged into the world. It's this kind of secret technique. Could it be that he wants to? The pupils of the old Taoist King Su shrank slightly, and his eyes were full of disbelief. Master, what is the layman going to do? The young Taoist King Su looked curiously. Chen Yuheng's pretty face also showed a curious look. It can't be said. It can't be said. The old Taoist King Su shook his head repeatedly. Even in his eyes, there was a hope and 9 fears. Su Chen was indeed preparing to perform the secret technique. However, what was the price of performing this secret technique? Even he himself didn't know. He only remembered his grandfather's warning that he must not use it unless it was absolutely necessary. This is likely to bring great disasters to the whole world. Su Chen didn't know why his grandfather told him this. He also didn't know why his grandfather taught him this secret technique. But now it's an emergency. If he doesn't use the secret technique, the consequences may be irreparable. Although the joint efforts of the 4 great powers were broken by the old Taoist King Su Chen was still attacked by Zhou Dezu and Liu Yuanwu. Zhou Dezu's attack was still acceptable. Although this man is a mid-stage physical strongman in the realm of heaven and man, he focuses too much on defense. Because of this, his star-breaking attack is not very strong. But Liu Yuanwu's Shinyuan strike landed firmly on Su Chen. If Su Chen's defense was not strong enough, he might have been in danger of death at this time. Even so, Su Chen was severely injured by Liu Yuanwu. If it weren't for the continuous recovery of his longevity, he might even fall to the ground. Heaven and man are one. Chen Yuheng, who looked a little silly, seemed to have a ray of light in his confused eyes. What? The little Taoist King Su turned around in confusion. He faintly heard what Chen Yuheng had just said. However, at this moment, Chen Yuheng returned to that silly expression again. It seemed that the person who had just uttered those words was not her. Compared with the curiosity of the young Taoist King Su, the old Taoist King Su turned his head and looked at Chen Yuheng with surprise. A huge wave of waves was set off in his heart. Although the old Taoist's cultivation is not the best, the Taoist sects in the world are one family. Zhang Tai'an can see the clues, and the old Taoist King Su can also see the clues. Especially the 4 words of Chen Yuheng, which made the old Taoist confirm his guess in his heart. This layman who saved his life really wanted to unify heaven and man. Boom. Thunder suddenly sounded in the sky, or thunder as thick as an arm actually struck directly at the location where Chen Yuheng was. The Tao follows nature. Disperse. The old Taoist King Su shouted loudly. His face was solemn, and he flicked his whisk as if he wanted to get rid of the locked aura. Boom. Crack. Crack. Not only did the old Taoist not shake off the thunderbolt, but another thunderbolt came down. It looked even thicker than the previous one. Before the old Taoist could react, the first thunderbolt had already fallen towards Chen Yuheng. Chen Yuheng couldn't dodge in time, and could only passively defend, but it was still difficult to resist the power of the thunderbolt. Boom. Chen Yuheng's pretty face suddenly turned dark, and her soft long hair became like a chicken coop. She looked aggrieved, not knowing why the thunderbolt wanted to strike her. The next moment, another thunderbolt came and landed right on the old Taoist's head. Wulian Xianzhen. The old Taoist took it hard. His shoulder-length white hair was shining, and even his beard was curled up. First update. Chapter 850 Provoking the Thunder Tribulation. Master, young lady. The young Taoist priest King Su was a little flustered. He seemed to want to come over to help, but he was worried that he would be harmed by the terrifying thunder. It's okay. The old Taoist shook his head slightly. He had already realized that the 2 thunders just seemed terrifying, but in fact they were just a slight warning to him and Chen Yuheng. I'm fine too. Chen Yuheng turned her head cutely. At this moment, except for her white teeth, her whole face was black, which made people laugh. At this moment, Su Chen's formula had come to an end. The next second, Su Chen shouted, "Heaven and man are one. My heart is the heart of heaven." At the same time, in the sky, the retreating thunder reappeared. However, this time the thunder was different from before. The rolling thunder, like angry waves, contained infinite murderous intent. Boom, crack, crack. Thunders as thick as water tanks fell down. The target of this thunder was Su Chen, who had just finished reciting the formula. Looking at the thunder, it seemed that he wanted to kill him as soon as possible. Everyone was shocked, wondering what Su Chen was doing. Why did he pretend to be a god for so long? But the thunder struck him instead. The old Taoist priest was worried. How can it be so easy to replace the will of heaven with human heart? I hope you can hold on. This thought flashed through his mind, but he didn't even dare to mutter to himself. The thunder snake danced wildly and rushed straight to Su Chen. At this time, not good. Retreat quickly. The 4 mid-stage gods who were besieging Su Chen all changed color. The thunder attack was so terrifying that they dared not take it head on. Moreover, they were still around Su Chen and were in the range of thunder. The 4 people quickly withdrew their attacks and retreated. At this time, they didn't care whether their skills would backfire. In front of such a powerful thunder, the backlash of the attack was fierce, but at least it was not fatal, and this thunder was very likely to directly injure them. The 4 people retreated together, but there was also a difference in order. Zhao Dezu and Liu Yuanwu are both strong men in the middle stage of the heavenly man realm. Although they are standing in the front, they are the fastest to retreat. Swordsman Ciu has just used the 3rd attack. 3 swords to slash gods and ascend to heaven is the combination of 3 swords, and it is impossible to take it back now. Fortunately, he is also decisive enough to give up directly. Ciu's whole body is urging, and his body is explosively retreating. In comparison, among the 4 people, the one who is least good at speed is Wen Liang. Whether it is a strong physical body or a strong vitality, it will help speed. But those with strong mental strength will be weaker in this aspect. Wen Liang was a step slower and fell into the attack range. At this time, Su Chen has entered an extremely mysterious state. In this state, he seems to have merged into the entire world. Or, he is this world. My heart is the heart of heaven. This is not just talk. If my heart is the heart of heaven can really be achieved, it will undoubtedly be the biggest nightmare for the enemy, even if it is only for a moment. This heart of heaven is not the sky, not the emperor, but the entire world. To be more precise, it is the whole world. Becoming the will of the world, what a terrifying state it would be. Just like a human being, looking down at the ants in the jar. If he wants to crush anyone, it is easy. What a terrible scene. Even now, Su Chen has not completely entered the state of unity between man and nature. But if he tries to enter this state, the thunder tribulation will come. This is Su Chen's disaster. However, when Liang came over and mixed with Su Chen in the same area, unity of man and nature, how terrifying is that? Chen Yuheng just said these words unintentionally. As a result, the thunder fell and taught her a lesson. The old Taoist said nothing, but just blocked the thunder for Chen Yuheng. The thunder also fell, without any room for negotiation. Chen Yuheng and the old Taoist did not participate at all, so they ended up being struck by thunder. But what about Wen Liang? He did not participate, but his mental power was still permeating around Su Chen, and the whole person fell around Su Chen. It looks like Su Chen is in the state of unity between man and nature, but Wen Liang has been helping him. Although Wen Liang had no such intention at all, and even wished that Su Chen would die sooner. But the thunder tribulation would not think so much. It would only judge who was the enemy, based on the aura. Boom. The terrifying thunder, with the might of annihilation, seemed to destroy everything. The terrifying supreme will, with the unbearable pressure, suppressed it instantly. At this moment, Su Chen and Wen Liang, who were locked by the thunder, looked extremely solemn. Relatively speaking, Su Chen was better. Because it was not the first time he encountered thunder, he was somewhat prepared. Boom. The first wave of thunder fell with a bang. Su Chen's body shook slightly. The terrifying thunder did not bring him a fatal crisis. However, Wen Liang was different. His face was instantly defeated. His face was burnt black, and every hair on his body stood up. Caught off guard, he almost lost half his life. Brother Wen. Zhou Wanqiu, a mid-stage Shinran realm strongman, saw this and his face changed drastically. He moved and wanted to go over to resist for Wen Liang. Brother Zhou, don't. Liu Yuan Wu hurriedly stopped him. But it was too late for him to speak. Zhou Wanqiu rushed into the thunder like a ghost, trying to take Wen Liang out of the thunder area. Boom. Boom. The thunder became even more terrifying in an instant. It seemed to be provoked, and the rolling black clouds seemed to be changing. A more terrifying wave of thunder struck again. Not good. Zhou Wanqiu's face changed slightly. Even with his physical defense in the middle stage of the heavenly man realm, he felt a strong threat. Su Chen, who was under the thunder, was even more angry and almost spit out fragrance. At this moment, he already understood the price of his grandfather's teaching of this move. The price of the unity of heaven and man is thunder tribulation. But the power of this thunder tribulation is also related to the strength of the person who should be robbed. If Zhou Wanqiu hadn't joined, Su Chen would have been able to resist the thunder with his physical defense in the heavenly man realm. But now, Zhou Wanqiu's joining made the power of thunder even greater. Moreover, the pressure on the soul is even heavier. For Su Chen, the pressure on the soul is acceptable. After all, Su Chen is a spiritual god who practices both yin and yang. The strength of his soul is simply not comparable to that of an ordinary spiritual master. However, the power of the thunder of heaven and earth has increased, which is a bit difficult to bear. Zhou Wanqiu's joining makes the thunder feel like it has encountered a provocation, and its power is directly doubled. Boom, crack, crack. Second update. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.